the right fielder, number 27, Justin Maxwell.
So from the bases loaded, nobody out, to the bases loaded, 2 out. And now it's up to Maxwell. Maxwell is facing Soria for the first time. So how many times has Justin Maxwell played this out in his backyard as a kid? Here's the 3-2. Swing and a high fly ball deep into left field. It is gone. A grand slam for Maxwell. Royals baseball 2014 finally comes to you from Kauffman Stadium as the Royals begin a 3-game series with the Chicago White Sox. Hi everyone, welcome back to the ballpark. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre, and it was a lot of fun looking back at that final Kauffman Stadium moment from last year. Hud, the fans did not want to leave when that game was over. And finally today, they let him back through the gates.
That's right, Ryan. It was an exciting moment. Are you kidding? It seems like it was just yesterday, but the voice of the crowd, I'll never forget. I got goosebumps when I saw it again.
And we got a pitching matchup today where Ned Yost, even though he could have used Yordano Ventura, who was rained out yesterday, wanted to make sure he went with a veteran like Jeremy Guthrie with all that is included with a home opener.
Yeah, you know, and I got to agree with the skipper because, look, even though the folks would love to watch Ventura, they'll just have to watch for him on Tuesday. That's all. Come buy a ticket and come on out to the K. But Guthrie's got a winning record against the White Sox, a great draw, and hopefully he'll keep that ball down as that wind's blowing pretty hard out to right.
Hud, 1 year ago today, the Royals were 0-2. Jeremy Guthrie pitched and beat the White Sox. How about that?
Man, he can't write a better script for today even. I think it's the perfect time. They've got to get on the board. The sooner they can get the win, the better they can get that mojo off their back. Get going, fellas. This team is a different team. They got a great swagger, and it's fun to watch this team already. I can tell you they're fun, 1 through 9.
How do you think they'll approach a young pitcher like Eric Johnson, who's experiencing a home opener for the first time?
Scouting report on Eric Johnson is he's around the plate. He's going to be the one that's nervous, not the Royals offense. They need to get some big hits early, take the pressure off of Guthrie, and go ahead and slide into a victory.
They didn't quite get that big hit in Detroit. That series is over. Now they're back home. It is a cold, windy day in Kansas City, but the fans here today and throughout the region are all fired up. It's the Royals and the White Sox coming up.
festivities, the pomp and circumstance have come to a close, and it is now time for baseball. And down here on the field, Joel Goldberg right by the Royals dugout. Jeremy Guthrie just walked by and into the dugout, and guys are finishing up, warming up right now. As for opening day, Billy Butler said no matter what the weather, it's always packed. It is always excitement. It is always a thrilling day. Now, we look over here, and we see Mike Jerschley out there. We see Salvador Perez walking in, and then over in the dugout, guys are getting ready, and they say, yes, it can get awfully cold, but they are getting fired up right now, doing a little pregame cheer, and ready for their first baseball game of the year at Kauffman Stadium. First pitch is next.
Field with the rest of the team right behind him, and the Royals last year had the best home record at Kauffman Stadium that they've had in over 20 years. On the other side, Robin Ventura's White Sox really struggled. They won 25 fewer games than the year before and finished with a record of 63-99. That was the White Sox fewest wins since 1970, and this is Robin Ventura's third year as White Sox manager, and here is his lineup today, and we're all looking forward to seeing who they call the Cuban Barry Bonds or Bobby Bonds, either one. Jose Abreu.
Same family, but they're hoping for same results as those two guys, because this guy here, they invested heavily in him, but so far so good in 3 games. You can't argue with that success, but they're really counting on this guy to be the run producer that they've lacked in the last year or so.
So a career season for Jeremy Guthrie. Most wins, most innings pitched in 2013. And ever since he joined the Royals a couple of years ago, he has just thrived against Chicago. And last year had his first career shutout against the White Sox. And he's an innings eater. The Royals have a rotation full of innings eaters, at least 200 innings in 4 of the last 5 seasons. Let's go around the horn, Hud. Brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers.
Oh, why not go around the horn, especially when there's gold everywhere. Perez, Hosmer, Gordon. There they go. You want second place? Soon to be first, Escobar and Kane. Moustakas has gold in his future. Infante and Aoki, 2 nice ads by Dayton Moore. Hopefully they all defend like they did last year. There won't be any problems. Pitchers love them.
The White Sox last season were at the very bottom in the American League in runs scored. So during the offseason, they improved their offense. We mentioned Jose Abreu in the middle of the order, and then Adam Eaton coming over in a trade with the Arizona Diamondbacks. So he takes over in center field and leads off. He had a left elbow injury last year and only played in 66 games with Arizona.
He's a young guy and fairly unknown, especially in this league. But what you're going to see out of this guy is action. He's an action type player. Fast, intense. And when you hear the word grinder, a hustler, and aggressive, I mean, those are the terms that you use for somebody who stirs it up. And that's exactly what the White Sox need. A legitimate leadoff guy.
And he gets it past Escobar. Alex cuts it off as Eaton takes an aggressive turn, but he'll hold with a game opening single. Well, the umpires were busy in Detroit as we used replay twice on Wednesday. And here's our crew for this series. Ted Barrett is the crew chief, along with Will Little behind home plate, Greg Gibson at second base, and Paul Schreiber at third base.
Okay, now Eaton, he's not exactly a Gerard Dyson as far as it goes to stealing bases. However, he's quick, and he's going to try to go if he gets a jump.
Marcus Semien, and he's filling in at second base at the moment. Gordon Beckham, their longtime second baseman, started the year on the disabled list with a rib cage strain, and he's in the minor leagues now in a rehab assignment. So an opportunity for Semien, who is just 1 for 14 to begin the year. He does have a home run.
Guthrie's going to try to get ahead with his fastball. He's got a good two-seamer. It'll run into righties and away from lefties. Sliders, curves, and change are his secondary pitches. Keep it down.
And that's a fair ball inside the line. Eaton will go to third and hold there as Semien is in with a double. And the White Sox threatening right away. 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out.
Guthrie going to his breaking ball, but it stayed up in the zone, right down the middle at 83. Semien not off to a good start in the first 3 games. Likes the start to this.
And you'll see a lot of that today on a cold, windy day. Guys trying to blow some heat and moisture into their hands. So here's a bit of a surprise in looking at the White Sox lineup. Connor Gillespie batting third. Doesn't really strike you as a number 3 hitter, and batted just .245 last year. But against Jeremy Guthrie today, Robin Ventura wanted a combination of left-hand batter, right-hand batter, left-hand batter, right-hand batter from his 3, 4, 5, and 6 hitters. So Gillespie gets the call at number 3. That will be out of play, and it's 0-2.
They're going to have a little bit more speed than they have in the past with Adam Eaton. Semien's a utility guy right now. He's filling in for Beckham, like you mentioned, but he's a pretty good hands guy. He's going to play around the infield, but he's got good speed as well.
Guthrie could really use a strikeout right here. That pitch stayed up, and Gillespie had a pretty good swing at it, and it's still 0-2.
Pitches that are elevated, they get hit a lot easier. Hitters are looking up in the zone, especially with the gale wind, force wind blowing from the left field flagpole to the right field flagpole. Foul ball.
Well, he didn't quite hit the spot, but he got the result. He does get the strikeout. 1 down in the first.
Okay, Guthrie keeping it right where he needs to keep it, especially against this kid Jose Abreu.
Five RBIs already for Abreu, including a 3-run triple in the game yesterday against Minnesota. White Sox took 2 out of 3 from the Twins. Abreu is 5 out of 12 to begin the season, and it is very odd to face the White Sox and not see Paul Konerko at first base.
Well, it would take a phenomenal player to replace him in this kid Abreu. And when I say a phenom, he's not a rookie either. This guy, he came from Cuba. Cuba's got a high brand of amateur baseball there, a lot like the Japanese league. Those guys that come over here, they're not rookies. They might be first-year players in the big leagues, but this guy, he's a polished veteran, first time around the American League and in the majors. He's got a swagger and he's good.
He already has the respect of the league. Ron Gardenhire intentionally walked him twice in the first 2 games of their series. Inside, and they've been keeping track of the more advanced stats since 1955, and after doing some research, they could not find a rookie who had been intentionally walked twice in his first 2 major league games since 1955.
Wow.
But as you said, this is not a, in quotations, true rookie.
No, that's respect.
That pitch stayed up, and we hope it stays in play. The wind is blowing toward that direction. Aoki makes the play, and Eaton scores on a sac fly in foul territory. Simeon goes to third, and Jose Abreu drives in his 6th run already to give the White Sox a 1-0 lead.
Okay, this is the guy here you want to make sure that you try to stay on the outer half and down, because if you make a mistake here, one swing, he'll let you know, and he doesn't even need a wind.
So Dunn already has 2 home runs. Now the Royals have shifted for Dunn, and maybe tearing a little page out of the Tigers playbook here, in that Mike Moustakas has flipped positions with Alcides Escobar. That's Escobar all by himself on the left side, and Moustakas playing up the middle. And we saw with Moustakas batting in Detroit, Brad Ausmus had his 3rd baseman Nick Castellanos go out into shallow right field.
See Escobar over there in the hole.
Got the call over the outside. 2-1 on Adam Dunn.
Yep, Dunn's a very patient hitter. 6 for 28 lifetime off Guthrie. Guthrie knows how to get him out. Wants to get out of this inning with no further damage.
Very high and into that crosswind. So nothing routine in the air, but the 3-time Gold Glover brings it down, and the White Sox get 1 in the top of the 1st. fired up about the home opener than he was opening day in Detroit. As he put it, a lot of pomp and circumstance, and it's not even for us. It's for the Tigers and their fans. Today is all about the Royals and their fans. Royals lineup, and Omar Infante, couple of hits and a walk, on base 3 times, and a stolen base in the Tigers series.
Watch out for Ned Yost's left-handed batters today in this win. Alex Gordon, he can't wait to go deep. Moustakas 0 for 8 so far in the season. And let's not forget about Eric Hosmer. Can't wait to take that ball to the hydration station, as he calls it. Eric Johnson. All right, this is his first opening day start ever. He's going to have a few jitters. He's a guy that throws the ball around the plate. He's got a good sinking fastball. He's got an excellent cutter, and he's got a slider, curve, and a changeup. Pitches to complement that. He's a guy who's right around the plate. Should be some good hitting for the Royals.
Nori Aoki still looking for his first hit of the season. And facing Johnson for the first time. Showing bunt. The White Sox were already in against him.
See, his velocity is anywhere from 88 to 92 with his 2-seamer. And he could get his 4-seam fastball up a little bit higher towards the mid-90s, but we'll have to wait and see how it is on this cold day for him.
Off of Abreu's glove, and there is his first hit as a Royal.
Okay, now he doesn't generally pull the ball, but he'll take it there. He likes to go the opposite field, but if you're going to throw him inside, he'll do his chances to pull it, and especially with that wind blowing today, might as well take a shot over there, and it worked. Abreu, not a real rangy type first baseman. He's more of a slugging first baseman. Pretty good hands, though, but Aoki gives a little salute to his teammates.
So Omar Infante. He has faced Johnson 5 times. That's the most of all Royals hitters. That is low for ball 1.
Okay, Aoki, he's a base stealer now. He's not a guy that's going to steal a whole bunch of bases. Pretty much a situational stealer. Gets good breaks, good jumps. Stole 30 bases in 2012 for Milwaukee. 20 last season.
And Infante with that wide open hole on the right side takes full advantage. And here come the Royals with 2 on and nobody out.
Okay, you're going to see a lot of that this year, especially with Aoki getting on first base. Infante has never seen a fastball down the middle that he didn't like. Just like that. Prototypical second place hitter. Hitting behind the runner. Look at those eyes. Saying, ah, look at that. Right on a tee. That's how you teach the young kids. Perfect stroke.
You had mentioned, Hud, when we came on the air that Johnson naturally will be feeling some jitters. He hasn't pitched in a home opener yet as a big leaguer. And now we've seen Aoki see 2 pitches, Infante 2 pitches. A good strategy to come out hacking against this guy. And Hosmer thought about it. He tried to stop. So it looks like he was trying the same strategy. Get to Johnson before he can get comfortable on the mound.
Yeah, but he's going to have to try to calm his nerves a little bit. Haas can't wait to bring this crowd to their feet. He's got potential. He's got dead center, opposite field, and pull power. Wants to drive in a run early.
Oh, and 2.
Okay, there's a little jam shot. But he's right around the plate. Whenever a hitter here's a scouting report of a pitcher that's around the plate and not very wild, they like that. They're saying, all right, I can hone in, get anything that's out over that plate early. So far, that's what they're doing.
Hit him. Painful, but with the count 0-2, the Royals will take it.
obviously the kid's nervous. He's jittery. 0-2, trying to come inside. Hosmer doing the right thing. Fortunately, it hit off his forearm and not his elbow. Hosmer has a little smile on his face. Something tells me that he's got a couple more at-bats against this kid. You better chuck and duck.
So Billy Butler with the bases loaded, nobody out. He hit a home run last year against Johnson. Way outside for ball one. And the last time the Royals played was on Wednesday in Detroit. And remember, Billy came up against Max Scherzer, who looked shaky in the first inning, and Scherzer got Billy to ground into a double play. A big thrill for the Tiger fans. Today he's got 40,000 fans behind him. 2-0.
Yep. Pressure's all over the young rookie Eric Johnson. Billy Butler will tell you in Detroit that 3-0 pitch probably was a pitch that he should have taken. However, he was excited. He wanted to help the Royals in a big way, and it didn't happen. So Tyler Flowers, the veteran catcher, is going out to try to settle the kid's nerves. Let's see Billy Butler taking the kid Johnson deep last year. That might bring the house down here if he does that.
In on him. Aoki back to third, and now just bluffing a tag. So this time it was a 2-0 pitch, and maybe Billy tried to muscle up a little extra. And now the bases loaded, one out.
Okay, Johnson left him a fastball that was a little bit up. Billy couldn't quite get the head on it. Let's see if Gordon can pick him up here.
Alex 1 out of 6 in Detroit with a walk, a run scored, and an RBI. Oh for 3 against Johnson. Aoki singled, Infante singled, and then Hosmer was hit by a pitch. Inside for ball one. One ball, one strike. Two grand slams, and both of those were last year.
Perfect opportunity here. First AB at the K. In that 6th spot. And
tempted.
The fact that the Royals are 1 for 16 with runners in scoring position in 2 games is not boding well with these hitters. They want to get something done. They got to get a big hit. They're getting the runners out there. They're just not getting them home.
Deep right field. The wind will push it, and it's over Garcia's head. 1 will score, 2 will score, 3 will score.
Looking for the big hit. There it is. Watch it. He didn't get it all. This looks like it jammed him or it hit off the end of his bat just a little. We could tell by the sound. But when it got up in that gale, right fielder AVISAIL GARCIA couldn't track it. All 3-run score. KC with the lead.
Now Sal jumps on the first pitch. And Abreu brings it down. So continuing the theme of swinging aggressively against Johnson. So Alex at second base with 2 down. And Mike Moustakas 0 for 8 in Detroit. But he also homered against Johnson last year when the Royals faced him in Chicago in the last series of the year. Outside for ball 1. Well, we'll see what happens today, Hud, but it happens so often that one guy gets a big hit, and it doesn't just take the pressure off of him, it takes the pressure off the entire lineup. 2-0.
You're exactly right. Let's see if he can capitalize. I was a little bit surprised that Salvi would go ahead and swing at that first pitch. You know, you kind of want to get a look at a guy. Look at a pitch or two. You got the whole afternoon. A little bit anxious. Now, looking at their defense, they're not defensing him like Detroit did. They got the shortstop is up the middle to pull. That's Alexi Ramirez. But you see some lanes. There's some lanes here and some lanes. So really there's a good opportunity for Moose, who especially has worked on his opposite field hitting. 3-0 probably be taken.
3-1.
So that pitch, if it comes again, Moose, his eyes got to tell him to stroke it to left. Got to wait. He worked on that and done it so well all spring. It's like Flowers was calling a fastball in. Could use a hit for confidence.
Good swing. 3 balls, 2 strikes. It is so difficult for a hitter to go from Arizona for a month, short sleeves, 80-degree temperatures, and feeling great, and now all of a sudden you got long sleeves on, it's cold, it's windy, and you're trying to have the same feel. And I bring that up because Mike Moustakas is the same hitter that he was in Arizona when he was just tearing up the Cactus League, but the feel is a little different. And he's had a few swings already in the first 3 games where he's just missed it. I mean, you can tell the swing is there. Maybe the timing is just a tick off.
Yeah, it's you know, some players have slow starts, and others haven't been in the league long enough to know whether they're in a prolonged slump or not. That's what happened with Moose last year. An important start for Moose, a good start, is really important for him. He's seen 7 pitches, and that's a good sign. He's going to gain some confidence with each foul off.
And the Royals have already forced Johnson to throw 22. White Sox bullpen is a big question mark. So with every pitch Johnson throws in this inning, the Royals are getting closer to that bullpen. So he's fouled off 4 in a row, and we're stuck on 3-2. Royals have scored as many runs off Johnson in this inning than they did in 5 1/3 innings when they faced him in late September of last year. Off the end of the bat, and Simeon will throw him out. 24 pitches, 3 runs. The Royals were looking for that big hit in Detroit. Never got it. but they get one in the very first inning today. Alex Gordon drives in 3, and at the end of 1, the Royals lead by 2. Allowed just 1 run, and then the Royals gave him 3 in the bottom of the first. So he's in with a strike to AVISAIL GARCIA.
Sun's starting to peek through the clouds here.
In more ways than one. Kind of symbolic of where the Royals are right now. It has been dark and gray for a long time. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Garcia. And so many fans here today have just hung in there for, well, the last 10 years. It was 10 seasons between winning years for the Royals. And so many years of just hoping that the Royals could compete, hoping that they could finish at or maybe above 500, and only dreaming about the opportunity to go to the playoffs. So the season we've all been waiting for, as Garcia grounds out to short, and a good start for the Royals today with a 3-1 lead. So Jeremy Guthrie, we talked about his great success against the White Sox. May 4th of last year, had his first major league shutout.
Boy, and it was a beauty. All of his pitches were working. He had it down. The defense was playing exactly the way they wanted. Look at him turn around and point to the defense. Love how this guy is a team pitcher all the way.
And with the unbalanced schedule, it is so important to play and pitch well against your own division. And only the Cy Young winner, Max Scherzer, was better against his division than Jeremy Guthrie.
And those 11 wins are the most by a Royals pitcher versus the Central ever. So Guthrie, he stepped in some great territory there. They could use him again this year big time.
Our Toyota league leaders. Hosmer backhands, and Alejandro Diaz is out number 2. Well, probably not as many kids as we would like to see or we will see when school is out, but get those kids ready for Kauffman Stadium and sign them up for Sluggers Blue Crew. Members receive a limited edition Royals baseball t-shirt, a cap, a car magnet, 2 ticket vouchers, a free stadium tour, and much more for just $25. And you can sign them up right now at royals.com/Blue Crew. Pass Moustakas. Alex gets to it quickly, and Ramirez, even though he's a good runner, he'll have to hold with a long single.
Yep. Alexei knows. Alex Gordon. The Detroit rookie Castellanos didn't. He hit a ball like that and thought he could beat Gordon to second base, and Gordon shut him down quickly. Moose, nice attempt. Loves to get his uniform dirty.
So Tyler Flowers with a runner at first, 2 down. Flowers last year was taking over as the White Sox everyday catcher as A.J. Pierzynski departed for the Texas Rangers. And in the end, he only played in 84 games and hit 195. Back in 2009, Tyler Flowers got his first big league hit against the Royals, and then 2 years later got his first big league home run against KC. Some late movement over the outside, 2-1.
Yeah, Flowers opening day against the Royals hit a big home run, didn't he? Decided the game.
And it looked like his season was off and running. Didn't it?
we were talking about him waiting for so long to get his starting job, and maybe this can be his year, and wasn't much longer, and they put him back on the pine.
And we just showed you James Shields because that was the only mistake James Shields made in an otherwise brilliant Royals debut opening day last year.
Yeah, just talked about it. There it was.
Square. Ended up hitting another home run during that series with the Royals. And he pulls that one into the corner, and Alex gonna have to play it off against the fence. They're gonna wave home. Ramirez, a good throw will get him, and it is a good throw.
Super Joe McHugh, and you know better than to try to run your guys against the Royals, because they are nothing but toast.
Sellout crowd at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals lead 3-1. And remember, it's time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag Royals fan photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T.
Oh, just to hear the roar here at the K again. Can't believe it's been 6 months since the last roar we heard. That walk-off grand slam by Maxwell, and then to hear the crowd on just a lousy assist. Oh, these Royal fans are hungry for more of that great defense. And it was textbook, too. Picks it off the wall to Gordon. Doesn't take a big crow hop and throw it to the cutoff man. He picks it off and quickly gets it on the line to Escobar, who quickly got it right back.
And Kane drops it in front of Eaton for a leadoff base hit.
We got to show that play to you again to shut that inning down for Guthrie. They try. Now watch Gordon give up on it. Watch how he picks it up bare hands. Okay, just fires it. Get it to the cutoff man. Let him be the guy that's quick and accurate. Perfect throw. Super Joe McEwen, the third base coach of the White Sox, took a chance there and he lost.
You know, two things with that throw, HUD. Number one, just hitting the cutoff man on the fly, but he also hit Alcides Escobar on his glove side. So Escobar receives that throw from Alex and is already in perfect throwing position.
You're exactly right. And then, of course, where Escobar put the ball for Salvador was just perfect. This doesn't get any better. You put this on the teaching reel, okay? Only thing Escobar could have done was have had that other hand right there near the glove, but look, he didn't need to, and he puts that ball one hopper, and Salvi does the rest. And the roar came.
I mean, something just as subtle as if he had thrown, Alex did, to Escobar's throwing side instead of glove side. He has to shuffle his feet. He has to go into a full pivot. And then Ramirez is probably safe.
It takes a little bit extra time whenever you do that, and you don't have time when you're trying to nail a runner. You got to be accurate with your throw and limit your steps. Kane was leaning. He wants to rip off a bag big time. Okay, here we go again. Joe McEwen, he's sitting around, and right there when Escobar got the ball, Alexi Ramirez was just 3 steps off of third, and I'm sure Joe McEwen's going, oh no. Textbook. Lorenzo Cain ripped off a bag in Detroit. He had 3 or 4 good jumps before he got it. Nobody out. 2 strikes. Let's see if Escobar tries to shoot that hole over there between the second baseman and the first baseman. We've seen Escobar do that. He likes to put that ball there. Saw Infante do it earlier.
Kane runs, and it's grounded to third, so a good idea to run Kane as he moves up to second base, and Escobar is out number 1. We told you in the first inning, as the Royals got the big hit with men on base, driving in a run with runners in scoring position, getting an extra base hit. Those were hits that were tough to come by in Detroit. Another thing to point out is how an inning gets started, and that is with the leadoff man on. And the Royals have done that in each of the first 2 innings. They only did it 4 times total in Detroit. Aoki to center field. And Kane will bluff a tag, just forcing a throw. So 2 down in the second inning. Well, this season, Saturday baseball comes to Fox Sports 1, and it all starts this week with a doubleheader as the Twins take on the Indians, followed by the Giants battling the Dodgers. Fox Sports 1 is your home for baseball every Saturday. And to find Fox Sports 1 on your cable satellite provider, go to foxsports1.com. Omar Infante, part of the Royals' 3-run first inning. He singled to right after Aoki's single. And then Hosmer down in the count 0-2, hit by a pitch. With 1 out, Alex Gordon drove in 3. Ball 1 outside. RBIs 2, 3, and 4 for Alex this year.
Had he barreled that up, that would have been his 3rd career grand slam.
One and one.
Infante just set that kid Johnson up.
By overreacting to the pitch inside?
Exactly. He backed off and went, oh, man. But really, he's saying to himself, throw me that one again.
Two and one. Well, this is only his 11th plate appearance since becoming a Royal, but the scouting report is true so far. He has not had a bad plate appearance yet. De Aza coming in, Eaton coming in, and that will fall. Omar Infante's 2nd RBI as a Royal, and it's 4-1 KC in the 2nd.
He'll take it. And that wind pushed it away from De Aza. It was up in the zone. He couldn't quite get his hands on it like he wanted to. Super try by Eaton. But a nice 2-out ribby. That's the O for Omar. Nice.
Inside to Hosmer. Hosmer came up there, looked like he was trying to hit one onto I-70. Can't blame him. Big crowd, a lot of emotion. And on an abbreviated swing, went too far. Then he fouled a pitch off, so he was down 0-2. And then Johnson tried to pitch him in and nailed him on the right elbow. Goes with a changeup, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Pretty good location there.
Well, Johnson already coming up on 40 pitches, and we're only in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, they're making him work.
And that's hit hard into right field. Garcia was way over toward right center field. So Infante going 1st to 3rd, and Hosmer is safe at 2nd base.
AVISAIL Garcia, the right fielder, was playing him way over towards center field. Hosmer made contact and said, I could beat him. Now, the throw might have beaten him, but it was the slide that got the save call from 2nd base umpire Greg Gibson. And I'm sure that they'll replay this again, but he was right on top of the call, Greg Gibson. He's sitting right there looking at it. Watch the tag by Alexi. Okay, he's throwing his glove there. Hosmer sneaks his left hand in and grabs the base. Looks safe to me. And so, obviously, Robin Ventura is not going to appeal that play because it was just a great slide by Eric Hosmer.
So Ventura back in. Don Cooper, the pitching coach, goes out. Trying to get Johnson ready for Billy Butler.
Okay, when you're going head first, you can see it. You can see the tag, and you can alter your arms. Now, it wasn't his left hand, it was his right hand that got in. And then his left hand, as his right hand came off, snuck the corner there. Really nifty handwork by the Gold Glove Hosmer. You say you don't use your hands when you're sliding? That's a good example there of awareness of where your hands are. Billy has a chance to redeem himself here. He's got a chance to knock in a couple of big runs. Might get some action up in their bullpen if he can get a big hit here.
With the bases loaded and nobody out in the 1st inning on a 2-0 pitch, Johnson got Billy to fly to center field. 0-1.
Some happy fans. Souvenir off of Billy's bat. I think a fan in left field or right center would love to get one.
1-1.
In play.
.41 pitches for Johnson in an inning and 2/3. One and two. Royals got 3 in the first, all driven in by Gordon, and a 2-out run here in the second on Infante's single. And after Hosmer's double, 2 in scoring position for Butler. Royals have already had 7 base runners in the first 2 innings. Crack bat. And a long throw for Ramirez is right on the money to end the inning. Another run on 3 hits, and at the end of 2, the Royals lead 4-1. City, the home opener. Good day for the Royals so far with a 4-1 lead as we go to the 3rd inning, and it's a great day in the state of Missouri. And let's welcome in Governor Jay Nixon. And you were just telling us before the break, you've had a pretty baseball exciting career as Missouri governor, haven't you?
The only governor in America to ever have 2 All-Star games in the first term. So now we need to get a World Series in the second term between the 2 teams, and we will have got the full package.
Well, you've had a couple of World Series on the other side of the state. Now we just need to get some over here, right?
Clearly. I mean, this is, and I think this is the year. I mean, I really think this team has been built for having a great year this year. Obviously had one small stretch last year where they weren't competitive as they could have been, and we're excited.
So you threw the opening pitch. Was that a thrill for you?
It's a good that it is not going to be on ESPN tonight, or that it's not that you didn't mention it.
Well, it'll be on our broadcast, though.
Hopefully it's close.
Heck, what was wrong with that?
There you go.
Hosmer, nice diving play, and then race to the base as Eaton runs well, and Eric wins the race. So a big out for Jeremy Guthrie as we begin the 3rd inning. Now, one of the great memories for me in my lifetime as far as first pitches go will be when George W. Bush was out there shortly after 9/11. Now, of course, a lot different circumstances, but it really highlighted somebody in political office being out there on the mound all by himself, and everybody's staring at him, and wanting to see if he's got any kind of an arm or not. Is it nerve-wracking at all being out there?
Well, you try not to embarrass yourself. Let's put it that way. I went in the tunnel and threw a little bit beforehand. You just try not to throw it too hard. I mean, it's bad things can happen out there. And the catcher did okay, better than what happened to, unfortunately, to Don Baylor the other day.
Yeah, but you put the ball in the same place Baylor caught it. But that was really have you ever seen anything, a ceremony first pitch that bad before? That was terrible. It was tragedy.
It was just, I mean, I actually watched the tape of it. It was almost caused your gut to, you almost feel like vomit. I mean,
yeah, it was not good. I mean, and I wouldn't suggest anybody go back and look at that either. Ceremonial first pitches are supposed to be joyful and everything. Not supposed to break your leg on catching a pitch. That was unbelievable. Oh.
It is supposed to be a good day, and there's the sun. Look at that, finally.
They're trying to break through the overcast a couple of times today. And Alex comes up a few strides. He gets Simeon 2 down. And Mr. Governor, from DeSoto, Missouri, and less than an hour south of St. Louis. So does that make you a baseball fan, a Cardinal fan growing up?
Oh, when we were kids, we went to a lot of Cardinal games. They're on Grand. I saw Stan Musial play when he was still in the league, the first game I went to, and you kind of have those memories. But baseball's a great sport, and played a little bit when I was young. But yeah, Cardinals was where those are the games we went to when I was a kid.
So 2 down, and now Connor Gillespie comes up, and he's first pitch swinging, and just outside the line. No balls and 1 strike.
Governor, what do you think about this beautiful ballpark here, the K, on opening day?
Well, I think it's the best ballpark in Major Leagues. I mean, both for the way it sits and looks, the sightlines, as well as the family friendliness. The redo that was done here has made, especially the outfield section, people can bring their families here and have a wonderful, wonderful experience.
In fact, I think if I read correctly, it was about 8 years ago, I think today, where we had the vote.
Yep.
Which not only renovated Kauffman Stadium, but Arrowhead Stadium as well. And boy, they did a wonderful job on both sides of the parking lot, didn't they?
Well, done it in a very open and transparent way, too. When the public puts dollars in, they like to see what they get, and they know what they got here. And Major League Baseball, given Kansas City, then the All-Star game after that was another shot in the arm economically also.
I mean, the fountains, there's not any other stadium in America that has fountains in their outfield. And they're colorful at nighttime. They're lit up. So Kevin Uhlich, the vice president here with the Royals, said, you know what, let's let our fans sit out there amongst the fountains. So really, it's been perfect. And then the board they put in, that center field scoreboard is high def and probably the biggest and best in the league for sure, I think.
I think the best seats in the building are right out in front of those the fountains out there. It's unbelievable how you can see out there too.
And Gillespie will walk with 2 outs. That's Guthrie's first walk. I often wonder when someone like you, a governor or a senator, or maybe even the president, comes up into the booth like this, or they go to a sporting event. I wonder, can you ever take that hat off? I mean, can you ever just be a fan and come and enjoy the game? I mean, here we are bothering you and asking you to come on the air when you probably like to be sitting in the seats right now, having a hot dog and watching the game.
Well, you're right on both accounts. But no, it's an opportunity to speak to what are some great traditions of our state. I mean, baseball is Missouri. I mean, this great organization here, the Cardinals, the minor league franchises, and the kids out there in Little League. So it gives you a way to connect to what's a great Missouri value. So the ability to talk to a lot of people about how great our state is and how we're moving forward is just a true honor.
Why you signed up for the job in the first place,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. A lot of emotions people have for politicians. Pity is not one of them.
Well, and we should say Missouri through and through. Mentioned DeSoto, University of Missouri. You would have enjoyed watching the series in Detroit. We had 3 MU Tigers out there. We had Aaron Crow and, of course, Max Scherzer and Ian Kinsler in his first year with the Tigers. That's one of the new features that we were just talking about. Before the renovations, you could not go out there if you were a fan. It was the most unique Major League ballpark prior to the renovations, that there were no fans in the outfield. Now, of course, we had the beautiful landscape back there, but it's a completely different energy since they added the seats in the outfield.
It makes it feel closer, too. I mean, yeah, it's good to see those Tigers. I mean, Scherzer had a career year last year. We'll see how he does this year.
In Detroit, Mr. Governor, they are very disappointed that he did not sign a long-term contract, Mr. Scherzer, and is going to test free agency. I imagine that has people on the other side of the state dreaming a bit when he hits free agency.
Yeah, but you have to pay twice as much. You have to pay for 2 colors of eyes. I mean, I saw him play when he was at Mizzou. He's got a real live arm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went up to watch him play in college. Kinsler's a heck of a player,
Mm-hmm.
too. And then Aaron's been a lot of helpful to us down at the university. And after Joplin, he was one of the players that spent a lot of their personal time helping the folks rebuild down there. We really appreciate Aaron Crow's continued involvement with Show Me State.
Guthrie gets his second strikeout as he gets Jose Abreu. Well, along the lines of you being a fan, Mr. Governor, thanks for stopping by. We'll let you go enjoy the ball game.
Thank you. Have a great year.
Thanks, Governor.
Have a great year.
Thank you.
TP of the game, the most trusted player, brought to you by your Kansas City area Honda dealer.
Oh, when he made contact, I grabbed your arm, Ryan, thinking we were going to see another grand slam, but he didn't actually get the meat of the bat on that ball. Got it up in the wind, pushed it out there. It's beautiful. Now watch him on defense. Both sides of the ball, this guy's a star, an all-star, and a 3-time Gold Glover. Led the league and the world in outfield assists last year, and he might just do it again. He's already got 2. He's got skills.
Ball 1 from Eric Johnson. So 3 RBIs with 1 swing, 4 on the year for Alex. Way up into the clouds.
Wow, that's a tester.
The wind blowing it all over the place.
Oh,
and a nice play by
really
Garcia, big guy who moves well.
Man, that ball had some hang time on it. I mean, shoot. First baseman, second baseman gave up on it, and Garcia stayed with it. I mean, with that wind howling out to right field, that's one heck of a play. But his feet were out of bounds.
Yeah, he didn't have 1 or 2 feet inbound.
No, he did. Now Alex is saying, darn it. Like another chance, this guy.
Sal swung at the first pitch when he batted in the first inning, so this time taking a strike. I wonder sometimes if a pitcher keeps that in mind. You know, he swung at the first pitch, didn't take a very good swing, bad result. I think I'll just lay one in there this time and assume that he's going to take.
Well, the catcher, he knows that. He's doing the thinking for the pitcher, so he's calling the signs. But you're right. I mean, whenever you make the first out of the game on first time up, first swing and an out, you're going to take the next time up for sure. First pitch.
Got the call. Sal didn't like it. 1 ball, 2 strikes, but he's smart enough to know to keep his protest to a minimum because he needs Will Little to give Jeremy Guthrie calls like that. 2-2.
Salvador tracks the ball so well. Hitting coach for the Royals, Pedro Grifol, says that he has the best mechanics on the team as a hitter. Great hands.
Fastball at 91. And that's Johnson's first strikeout. 2 down in the third. Well, even though the season has begun, you can still secure your season tickets with a prorated season ticket package for as little as $11 a game. You want to make sure you're in the stands all season long this spring and summer. And if you'd like to become a Royals season ticket holder, go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS. Upstairs to Mike Moustakas, who had a long at bat in the first inning. 9 pitches, 4 foul balls, and then Johnson got him on a ground ball to second base. Even though he made out, it would still be referred to as a productive at bat, and that he by himself forced the pitcher to throw 9 pitches, getting the Royals closer and closer to the White Sox bullpen.
Okay, now in the previous at bat, the shortstop was there, Alexei Ramirez. Now he's moved over and they're playing him just like the Tigers did on the dead pull shift, leaving a lot of lanes on the left side over here for Moose. You know what? Going back to last year, Moose tried to pull his way out of his slump, and hopefully this year he figures out you take the lousy singles to left field and then you build your way to the power. Singles before power.
I tell you what, Hud, I like the way Brad Ausmus played it, and he's playing it different from Robin Ventura here, where you leave the shortstop in his position and you move the third baseman to right field. Then you only really have one guy that is out of his normal alignment. Gillespie into foul ground and into a knee first slide on the dirt, and he gets Moustakas. So after really fighting it for the first 2 innings, Johnson gets the Royals 1-2-3 in the third.
Well, that is the saxophone of Mike Phillips, and as we resume action here, I'll let him try to complete the song too. My own personal critique here is that is one of the most beautiful national anthems that I've ever heard at any venue live, and it just made opening day that much more special. Mike Phillips, welcome to town. Congratulations on an incredible performance. What was it like out there for you?
It was electric. Opening day, Kansas City, Kaufman State. I mean, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. This town loves great music, great food. So after I finish playing, I'm going to go eat some barbecue.
You got barbecue. You got jazz in this town, of course.
You know, it's good. It's all good. I love it. Thank you, Kansas City, for the love. Thank you.
Well, he's from New York, and he lives in Portland now, but boy, I'll tell you what, you stole the hearts of everyone in Kansas City, and I think everyone that was here had goosebumps, and I've heard from people at home watching on TV that felt the same way.
Oh, wow. So, I mean, I dedicate that song every time to the servicemen and women who lay their lives down on line. So when the American flag rolls out, it is an emotional time because lots of people sacrifice their lives. So that song is always serious to me, and I like to have fun with it and also put my heart and soul into it.
Well, you put your heart, your soul, and your lungs into it a little bit. Tell us, that was one of the longest notes I have ever heard, and that was a little impromptu, was it not?
Yeah, it was, because the Jets were supposed to fly over on free. But I played the land of the free, and I'm looking up, and there are no Jets, so I'm just holding it, and I held it for a while, and they finally came. And they told me they got caught up in turbulence, but, you know, it's all good.
I'm glad it wasn't anything longer than that. I don't know how long that note was. It seemed like it was a minute. I don't know what it seemed like to you, but I bet it was a good 30, 40 seconds.
Well, I knew, looking at the dugout, they had EMS on the side, so if I would have passed, I would have been good.
Well, tell us about your career a little bit, and then what goes into the process of getting someone like you here for opening day?
Oh, man, well, the Kansas City organization, they've been really kind to me and always asking for me back. I'm an endorsee of Brand Jordan, so I'm with Nike, so I go to all of the sporting events. And, you know, I've played with Michael Jackson, Prince, Stevie Wonder, and I also have solo records out. If you look up Mike Phillips, they're all there. So I've had a nice career, but one of the greatest things of being with Nike and Jordan is that I get to play at all the sporting events, and I'm a fan. I played Little League, I played in college, I played basketball, football, I do NASCAR games. So just coming and playing this song that means so much to so many people and enjoying sports after, I mean, it's a dream come true.
Well, what a gig. I mean, to add, I would say Michael Jackson, Prince, Stevie Wonder, that's probably good enough, but to have you here, they're all right, you know, no big deal. Hey, to have you here, it was something I know everyone will forever remember to add to the opening day experience. Truly one of the most amazing performances I think that many of us have ever seen.
Thank you so much, and I look forward to coming back and eating some barbecue right after this interview.
I think I know where his mind is. It's on the barbecue and the great music. Hey, I'd say he fits in just fine to Kansas City. What do you think, Ryan?
That was very impressive, and I can't remember the last time we had a musical Star Spangled Banner for the home opener. I have a feeling we're going to see him again. Look at that, almost ended up with a souvenir baseball to cap off the day.
Guys, I'll tell you what, that was literally, look how close we are. It almost landed in this guy's cup.
It actually went in the beer.
Did that go in the beer?
Yeah. It bounced in and out of the beer.
You want to talk about a guy that's had a busy day. First it's holding up the Jets or waiting on the Jets. Now it's the baseball that lands about an inch from him in someone's beer. Mike Phillips has a little something going on, huh?
Yes, exactly.
Pretty good, wasn't it, Hud?
Oh, man, that's some great action right there. I'm a little surprised Joel, with the good hands he's got, didn't just reach out and snag that ball. Come on, Goldie, make a play one time for our guest. He played for us. You play for him. Let's go. Shake yourself. Come on.
Twice now, Guthrie has gone 0-2 to 3-2 in this inning. And then Dunn ended up with a single to right, and now a full count on Garcia. A budding power hitter in the American League.
Nice athlete. Got size.
Got in on him. You can give Salvador Perez an assist with that pitch. It was a fastball, but we showed you right before the pitch was thrown, Sal was telling Guthrie to shake it off to try and get into the young hitter's head. And then maybe that fastball jumped on him with him expecting something off speed.
A little jam sandwich for him. That's right. When you say get in on him, yeah, he couldn't quite get the barrel on that. Be careful with this guy here. He's been in a tree lately. This guy Diaz has got 3 home runs in 3 games.
2 of those on opening day, and became the first White Sox hitter ever. And you're talking about one of the older teams in the history of Major League Baseball, the first one ever to have 3 home runs in the first 3 games of the season. He had 17 last year, so that's big production from a guy who is batting 7th. Hosmer, nice play. Out at second. Guthrie covers. Double play.
Oh, that hurt Guthrie's hand. He caught it on the palm. Hosmer, great hands. Oh, that is a beautiful play right there. Pick and grin.
In front 4-1 with the Sprint Framley plan. Everyone gets unlimited talk, text, and 1 gig of data for as low as $25 per month per line while you're on the Sprint network. The more people add it, up to 10 total, the lower your rate. Plus, while you'll save as a team, all accounts can be billed individually. The Sprint Framley plan, as in friends and family.
What's a gig besides what Joel does?
It's larger than a meg.
Okay. Thank you.
And smaller than a tera. Right?
It's a gig.
Megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, okay. Right?
Sounds good to me.
Lorenzo led off the second with a single and then scored on Infante's base hit. The Royals got 3 in the first, 1 in the second, and then Johnson had by far his best inning in the third, getting Gordon, Perez, and Moustakas. However, you look at that pitch count in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, 56 pitches, and that's in 3+ innings. Kane, Escobar, and Aoki coming up.
Fellas, could we at some point rerun that last play, that double play, at 3-6-1? You want to know why he wears the gold? Look at that. Ah, that's a bullet. He just turned into a marshmallow and spun it around quickly to Escobar. Turned it over to a nice athlete in Guthrie who was there. It was a beautiful play. That's why he wears the gold.
Ramirez has to hurry, and he gets Kane by 1 step.
Okay, let's give Guthrie a little love. Talk about him being an athlete as well. He's not just a pitcher. This guy is a pitcher and an athlete. Get over to first base.
He knows that first base is vacated. That's his spot. He focuses on the bag, got his foot there, and he palmed it and snow coned it, and he's trying not to let you know it hurt. On a cold day, you catch that ball in the palm, you all know what that feels like.
Hosmer on that play gets an assist, and he led all American League first basemen in that category last year. En route to winning his first Gold Glove. With Hosmer and Perez, it was a little bit of a surprise, because I think while we believed that they would win Gold Gloves someday, it was a pleasant surprise that the league have realized so quickly how good they are defensively.
I think with that extra category, that statistical category they put in there, that really helped them. You know, as far as saving runs. I don't know the official name of that statistic, but they used it along with the voting of the managers and that vote on that, and that overwhelmingly gave those guys the gold because they saved so many runs. Lorenzo Cain almost got in there, and he didn't play the whole season.
2-2. Escobar grounded out to third his first time up. He did not have a good year last year against Chicago, but he's had a good career against the White Sox. His batting average against Chicago is the best for him against any team. And he takes a strike over the outside edge. I don't think he loved the call. So Johnson has retired 6 in a row, and that is his second strikeout. So 2 down. Nori Aoki coming up, and we go back down to Joel.
And this is kind of new for us, having an everyday Japanese player with the Royals. And while there's not the media contingent of, say, Yu Darvish or any of the Yankee players right now, there are some regular members of the media that are covering him. There is a young lady here who is essentially the video pool reporter, and she's getting different video and interview clips every single day of Aoki that then goes out to any Japanese TV station that wants it. And then there is a writer for an all sports daily newspaper or magazine that's covering him, another from a paper that'll kind of come in and out, and then a third from what would be the equivalent of, say, the Associated Press. So they're there every single day. And I was talking to Nori's translator. I said, well, how does he deal with having a regular group every single day who will want to be talking about this hit for Nori Aoki? And he says, hey, he's just happy to have someone to talk in Japanese to.
He has 2 hits today, Joel. That's his first extra base hit as a Royal. And that's not always the case. And I won't name any names, but there have been some Japanese players who have come over and have been rather irritated by the media contingent that follows them around. And then there are some like Hideki Matsui, who played with the Yankees, very friendly with the media, and would go out to dinner with them and socialize with them. And then it sounds like Aoki is cut from the same cloth as far as embracing people that are sacrificing, you know, half of their year to come halfway across the world to watch him play baseball.
Yeah, no, he's a fresh player, and hopefully we'll get to know him.
Gillespie got a glove on it, so he'll save a run, keeping it on the infield. But Omar Infante has his 3rd hit. And the Royals, with 2 outs and nobody on, have back-to-back hits with the middle of the order coming up.
Infante's going good. Nice play by Gillespie. That would have scored a run had that got over his glove there. Heck, he knocked that ball down. That's all you could do. But getting back to that man right there, Aoki, he's got a translator. Kotsuke is what the teammates call him, and he's in that dugout in there, and he helps the translation between the teammates, and hopefully we'll get him on the air. We'll be able to talk to him. There's Kotsuke.
Hosmer got jammed, and Garcia will make the play in right field. So 2 hits with 2 outs. The Royals strand 2, and at the end of 4, they lead 4-1. Panera Bread, coming soon to College and King in Overland Park. Come in and check out our new menu items today. And by your Midwest Ford dealer. Visit us at yourmidwestforddealers.com. Fifth inning, Royals have already scored 4 runs, and remember that was the magic number last year because of the great pitching and the Royals leading the league in ERA. 4 runs was about as, or more, was about as close to an automatic victory as you can get.
With a bullpen that shuts you down late in the game.
Good late movement. 1-1 on Ramirez. He singled with 2 outs in the second inning, and then Flowers doubled. Ramirez tried to score from first, and the Royals threw him out at the plate. Gordon to Escobar to Perez, and now Escobar gets a nice big hop and throws him out. Guthrie got into trouble in the first inning, giving up a single and a double to open the inning, but allowed just 1 run on a sac fly. Got the out at the plate in the second inning. A scoreless third, faced only 3 in the fourth thanks to a double play, and now a good start to the 5th inning. And that's through the left side, so Tyler Flowers is 2 for 2.
That's right where Salvi wanted that pitch. It's not over the plate, but it was down.
Adam Eaton singled and scored in the first and then grounded out in the third. I think this is your type of guy right here, Hud. Described as a player who plays like his hair is on fire.
Gotta believe it. Love the sense of urgency. He's an energy guy and had one heck of a year to get here. In 2012, he was a PCL MVP, Pacific Coast League. That's in AAA. And you know, his coach for the team there in Reno was Brett Butler, a player a lot like him. Butler raved about this kid's ability. He was the Rookie of the Year, the MVP, led the league in hitting, runs, hits, doubles, steals, and now he just got plunked.
And that was on an 0-2 pitch, so similar to when Hosmer was hit by an 0-2 pitch back in the first inning.
But, you know, he's the kind of player that on ball 4 hustles to first base. You just saw him get plunked. He hustles down the line. I mean, he realizes his job, and it's to get on base and do whatever it takes. He's going to be a catalyst for this White Sox team that's going to help them turn the corner when it comes to scoring runs. They went out and they addressed that issue. They were embarrassed being last in the league in runs scored.
Simeon doubled in the first inning, fly to left in the third. One ball, one strike. Two and one. Guthrie trying to get Simeon to chase a pitch down and away and roll it over for a double play. Royals turned a double play last inning on a ground ball hit by De Aza. Flowers at second, Eaton at first. 2-2.
Ooh, that's the one that'll sting your hands, those inside pitches. Look at him. He's saying that hurt. Wow. And he didn't even make full contact. Cold days. Ooh, man. There were times when I made contact in 30-degree weather and I went back to the dugout and it took an inning and a half to get the field back in the hands. It's not a cold weather sport.
It's like grabbing a handful of hornets.
Yeah. And there it is again. So why not go back in there? Because the hitter is saying, I'm not swinging if you put it in there again. Even when you make good contact on a cold day, you still feel some vibration.
Well, a big pitch here as the Royals are getting closer and closer to Abreu. And the bases are loaded with one out. So a one-out single, a hit batter, and now a walk. That's Guthrie's second walk. First man he walked was Connor Gillespie, who steps in now. Gillespie has also struck out. He has some local ties to the area, or at least the region. Grew up in Omaha, went to Millard North High School, and then played his college ball at Wichita State. Blocked by Sal, ball one.
Guthrie's digging himself in a little hole here. He's going to try to keep that ball in an area or an off-speed pitch where Gillespie will roll it over, like you said. Another word for that's a lane ball. Put him in the lane here. Double play would get him out of the inning.
Gillespie hit just .245 a year ago for the White Sox, but he had 13 home runs. That'll get a run home as Aoki makes a play. Two runners will move up. Flowers comes down from third. Eaton goes to third. And now it's a 4-2 game as Gillespie drives in his first run of the year. And that brings up Jose Abreu, who put the White Sox in front with a sacrifice fly in the first inning, driving in his 6th of the year. And then Guthrie struck him out in the 3rd. The Cuban Barry Bonds is what they called Jose Abreu. And he got a huge contract. Never played one game in the major leagues, but the White Sox gave him $26 million more than any other international amateur. 6 years, $68 million before his first professional game in the United States.
I don't know who gave him that label, Cuban Barry Bonds, but Barry hit from the left side, and Barry could run, he could fly, he could steal bases, he could do everything. This guy here is pretty much a one-dimensional hitter as far as I'm seeing. A one-dimensional player. He can hit for a little bit of power, but he's nowhere in the league of Barry Bonds, if you ask me. Just seeing a few of his at-bats here. Barry Bonds was a 7-time MVP. Juice or not.
That kind of got you fired up, didn't it?
It woke me up a little. Whoever gave him that name, that was not the right. That's not the right player to give this guy a comparison to.
2-2.
But baseball is a game where you compare guys with other guys.
Very similar in build to the guy he is standing right next to. Salvador Perez. Jammed him. Kane coming up, still coming up, and makes a sliding play to save a run. So Guthrie again gets a big defensive play behind him. And the White Sox get just one in the 5th inning.
Oh, good concentration by Kane.
Weekend at home, and we're glad you're with us on Fox Sports Kansas City today. We hope you'll join us in person. 5 more games on the homestand after today. Tomorrow afternoon against the White Sox, same for Sunday afternoon, and then Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon against the Tampa Bay Rays. Get your tickets now at Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS. And at the moment, the forecast looks good. Should be a lot warmer and a lot less windier than today. That wind just continues to blast out of the north.
It's got a little bite to it, that wind, too. It's cool.
There you go. 61 tomorrow, 65 on Sunday.
Perfect.
Billy has flied to center and grounded out to short. 2 big outs. Maybe the 2 biggest outs for Johnson today, keeping his team in the game, have come against Billy Butler. Although Alex Gordon picked him up in the 1st inning. Royals scored a run, were rallying for more in the 2nd. Billy came up with runners at 2nd and 3rd, and Johnson got him on a ground ball to short. And this time a 4-pitch walk. That is Johnson's first walk of the day. Robin Ventura saw his 24-year-old right-hander really struggle in the first 2 innings, but was able to regain his composure in the 3rd, got the Royals in order, worked around a couple of 2-out hits in the 4th, and now in trouble with a leadoff walk in the 5th. Alex with a 3-run double in the 1st inning, and then fouled out to right in the 3rd. (0-1). Royals with 4 runs on 8 hits. They won the season series with the White Sox last year, but it was a low scoring series on both sides. Royals last year hit .226 against the White Sox. That's the lowest ever in a full season against Chicago, but because of stellar pitching, the Royals won the series. 0-2 to Alex.
Well, that's a nice sequence of pitches there by Johnson. Fastball was right where Alex wanted it, and he took it, and then he threw that changeup right in the same spot and fooled him. Alex was telling himself, you throw me that fastball again right there down and in, I want that one. Flowers is calling for a heater. He wants it. Jammed him.
De Aza coming up in left field to make the play. One down in the fifth.
Okay, nice job. Here's the second pitch. After the fastball, it was the changeup, and it was right almost in the same spot. And then he went back with the heater, but he left it up around the letters and it looked too good to take. Eric Johnson settled down after the first few innings. They were rough. Royals were rather hitterish. They were looking for that half-inch mistake, and they got him. Sometimes it's more than a half-inch too. That's not very much, but don't they say this is a game of inches?
They do. Or half inches. Line to center. Eaton will play it on a bounce. So Sal has his first hit today and his 6th of the season. And the Royals have 2 runners on in the 5th inning.
And with the Missouri Lottery Fox tracks, we're going to show you a linea on the outer half. That's a Spanish for line drive.
We'll dust off an old term here. Sal is a good bad ball hitter, and that not a good ball for most hitters to swing at because it's out of the strike zone, not in a good spot, but with his long arms and his plate coverage, he can take a pitch out of the strike zone and turn it into a hittable pitch.
Okay, let's check out the differences between stances and Moose last year in 2013 and this year in 14. We'll show it to you. It's quite a difference. Let's wait till after this pitch.
I tell you, Moustakas is grounded to second and fouled out to third. 2-0.
Okay, let's see it. All right. It's very closed up last year. This year, look at it's on that chalk line even. That's how opened up he is. Now he's able to bring it back this way and get it back into hitting position. You see where it comes back in, and he's got good balance there. It's a nice balanced attack. He just hasn't had any results yet this year. Maybe right here.
3-0. If there's ever a question as to whether the hitter is testing the boundaries of the batter's box, it's almost always in the back of the batter's box. I don't know if I've seen a hitter test one of the side boundaries of the batter's box, but Moose wide open. He's got his heel right on the line.
He does, and with each little check swing, and when he's warming up, he backs it up even further. Fans wanted ball 4. Moose, I think, wanted to hit. You see how he has a kind of a flamingo. He brings his right leg in and up, and that's a timing mechanism to help him keep his weight back. And typically you want your foot coming down on contact.
He'll take a walk, and the Royals have him loaded up with 1 out. So Johnson might be paying the price here for all those pitches in the first 2 innings. He is at 82. He did not have a single walk in the first 4 innings, and now he has 2 here in the 5th.
Hey fans, it's time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag Royals fan photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T.
Could also be pound Royals fan photo, right?
There you go.
Number sign.
She might be on it.
But in the Twitter world, it is hashtag.
Thank you.
Very popular in Colorado. Hashtag. So they're loaded up for Kane, who has singled and scored and grounded out to short. Ball one low, and now they're stirring in the White Sox right field bullpen. In this inning, Johnson has thrown 15 pitches, 5 for strikes. One and one.
Okay, Royals got a big hit earlier off of Alex Gordon's bat, and they could use one here. Give Guthrie a little breathing room.
Billy walked, Sal singled, Moustakas walked. Two and one. The Royals have already entered into that zone, which made them so successful on offense last year. Didn't take a lot with the pitching, but 4 runs or more. And the Royals were 51 games above 500. Look at that, 64-13 with 4 or more runs. And that gets away from Flowers. So they'll get a run on a wild pitch as Billy comes down from third. It is 5-1 or 5-2 KC. Sal goes to third. Moustakas moves up to second.
Not the right time for Johnson to lose that one. That's for sure. He overthrew that slider. Flowers didn't have a chance to get in front of it. Just threw the backhand, and it wasn't enough. So Robin Ventura is going to bring his infielders in. Try to cut down Salvador Perez at the plate. Lorenzo Cain wants to get underneath one.
Ooh, boy, did he have a swing.
That's the one. He had one like that in Detroit too. Just missed. It's on the outer half. Had a good rip. Wants to get one airborne. That or try to keep it right back where it came from. That's the biggest hole in the diamond when the infield's in.
Up the middle, off of Simeon's glove, and this will score 2 more. 7-2 Royals in the 5th inning.
There you go. Nice piece of hit. Looking for something hard again off of Eric Johnson. Eric Johnson, as advertised, has been right around the plate outside of that wild pitch. That's right down the middle. All Lorenzo Cain did was shorten up his swing and try to direct it back where it came from. That's what you do with the infield drawn in. Really nice piece of hit to pick up a couple of big runs. Loke.
And Cain just got a huge jump, and Flowers made it close with a strong throw, but Lorenzo into second base with his 2nd stolen base of the year. So there goes any hopes for Johnson for a ground ball and a double play.
Not going to happen there. Great jump. Little peek back just to see what the hitter was going to do in Escobar. Yeah, good straight path to the bag. Shaking his head saying that's right.
2-0 on Escobar.
typically you want your arms all the way extended and landed on your chest. Right hand got caught a little bit, but he's able to get the left hand in there.
Two and one. It all started with a 4-pitch walk to Billy Butler. 1 run home on a wild pitch, 2 runs home on Cain's base hit. Cain goes back to second as Ramirez throws out Escobar. .92 pitches for Eric Johnson, and now he'll face Nori Aoki for the 4th time today. Infield single and a run scored in the 1st inning, and then he doubled in the 4th. Remember, at the end of last year, all the talk in improving the Royals offense was to find a middle of the order impact bat. Well, as it turned out, the Royals upgraded the top of the order and just slid Alex Gordon down. But last year, Royals leadoff hitters had a .309 on base percentage. Aoki .356 with the Brewers. Omar Infante's on base percentage last year was .345, and he had .318.
5 hits between them today. Can't complain. Couple ribbies from Infante.
Coming back our way. Careful, Hud. You go for that ball, you're going to land in some lady's popcorn.
No. Not going to happen. There's Infante.
Look at those two today. Made out 1 time. And they're responsible for 3 of the 7 runs. 2 and 1. 7 times an All-Star in Japan, and very good defensively. He won 6 Gold Gloves. He won 3 batting titles, and he was good right away. He won the Rookie of the Year award. Just foul. You know, normally when you talk about a hitter who hardly ever strikes out, and Aoki famously only struck out 40 times last year in about 600 at bats. Normally that guy would be referred to as like a Punch and Judy type hitter, you know, but Aoki, he had 8 home runs last year, and he had 10 the year before that.
No, he's got some home run power, but they want him to just get on base, don't worry about the power as much as just being a prototypical type on base guy. He has that ability. Good patience, rarely strikes out. The 2 strikeouts on opening day in Detroit were not his game, and he was shocked. He was beside himself. He didn't know how to handle that. So he's a little bit over anxious. He was guessing on a few pitches, but also he was facing some of the league's best pitchers, and he's never faced them before. Another big pitch, high pitch inning by Johnson.
And it's ball 4. It's his 3rd walk of the inning, and that will probably do it.
Yeah. Royals happy to see a guy like Johnson after facing Verlander and Scherzer. Are you kidding me? They're happy to see him. Now, not so happy to see him go.
Chevy call to the bullpen. Right-hander Jake Petrichka comes in from right field. The fans are fired up about a Royals 7-2 lead in the 5th inning. Day game tomorrow, and then Sunday is our first family fun day Sunday. So bring the kids out as the Royals will take on the White Sox at 1:10. You'll enjoy face painters, balloon artists, and a high energy performance by School of Rock at the Outfield Experience. Plus, to cap off your day, kids can run the bases after the game. So Kauffman Stadium is your family fun day destination. Royals.com/Sunday for tickets. Jake Petrichka to face Omar Infante, who had 3 hits against Eric Johnson. In the dirt for ball 1.
He's got a pretty good fastball he'll feature. Last year's statistics in just 16 games, you could see what he did. 19 in the 3rd innings. Had some command issues. 10 walks, 10 strikeouts. Has a hard time repeating his delivery. His fastball will run mid-90s, sometimes a little bit harder. He's got a nice little breaking ball. He used to have a big curve, but he's tightened it up now. He didn't have control of it, so he's slider, a little bit of changeup.
He was just called up from the minor leagues as the White Sox put reliever Nate Jones on the disabled list. 2-1. Jones has a left glute strain. You can look that up. The back end of the White Sox bullpen is completely different with Jones out because Addison Reed, their closer, is now in Arizona. And Jones, the setup man, is on the disabled list. And the White Sox had some big problems with their bullpen yesterday. They were very close to sweeping the Minnesota Twins. They were down 5-1 early in the game, and then Robin Ventura's team rallied to take an 8-5 lead. But Minnesota scored 5 times in its last 3 innings against the White Sox bullpen, and they won 10-9. Just foul. 3-2. Royals with 3 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 3 more in the 5th. And have Kane at 2nd. He's driven in 2 in the inning. Aoki at 1st. Another run is scored in this inning on a wild pitch. Runners take off, and it's fouled away again. Well, at least for now, I guess Omar Infante's elbow is okay.
Yeah, he's fine. In Ned's pregame conference that he had with the media, he said, hey, look, you know, he looks like he's very comfortable with it, hadn't had any issues, and cold weather hasn't caused any problems there, and nothing cures any injury better than 3 hits.
Took something off of it and strikes out. Infante 2 in the inning. 3 more runs. The Royals take advantage of 3 walks and a wild pitch. Kane drives in 2. We head to the 6th, and the Royals lead by 5.
Kingdom, believe it. Check it out. This relay play. Oh, you can't get any better than that. That was beautiful. Watch Hosmer right here. Jump to his feet and assist. No problem. You want gold flashing leather? There it is. Hosmer was sweet on that. Back to Guthrie. Lorenzo Cain. He could pop in with a gold glove at the end of this season. Who knows? 3 out of the 9 gold gloves given have been given to the Royals here. They're looking for more. They're greedy. Love their defensive game.
First time in team history the Royals have had 3 gold glove winners in 1 year. Same season they had 3 all-stars. Adam Dunn, AVISAIL Garcia, Alejandro De Aza. As Jeremy Guthrie has pitched a very Jeremy Guthrie type of a game where the White Sox have threatened on a few occasions to score more, but Guthrie has made the big pitch when he has needed to. Now 3-0 on Dunn. Guthrie is coming up on 90 pitches, and he is coming off his longest inning, 21 pitches last inning. And ball 4 to Dunn as Guthrie walks his third. 2 runs on 6 hits. That doesn't sound like a whole lot, but for the White Sox a couple of years ago, that's a big day on offense against Jeremy Guthrie. 2012 when he joined the Royals, 4 starts, a 0.3 ERA against Chicago.
Oh.
They did nothing against him.
He owned him.
And then a little more ordinary last year, although that 4.15 ERA really boiled down to one bad start for him. We showed you the first career shutout that he had against Chicago a year ago. But Guthrie versus the White Sox is about as close to an automatic win the Royals could get over the past 2 years.
So listen to Ned today. He said in the offseason when he got the Royals schedule and he saw that the White Sox were going to be in for opening day here at the K, he automatically thought about Guthrie being the starter. And he told Guthrie that in spring training, and he was not going to waver. Now, because young Yordano Ventura got rained out in yesterday's game in Detroit, a lot of people were speculating they just would push him back and let him start opening day. But you know, players like a manager that keeps his word. And that's exactly what Ned did. He just said, look, we'll let the rookie pitch next week. We're going to go ahead and let these guys stay in their turns here. And I tell you what, he earned a lot of respect for that, for doing that from Guthrie and some of these other guys.
Great pitch. No argument from Garcia. So 3 strikeouts for Guthrie, and that's the first out of the 6th inning.
Boy, that's his best changeup of the day. I don't know if that was a changeup. Might have been a heater. He snuck that sucker on the corner, though. That was a well-placed pitch.
So it's De Aza with 1 down, and Guthrie got him to ground into a double play in the 4th inning. That was one of the defensive gems that Hud was talking about at the beginning of this inning.
Oh man, defense never gets tired of talking about. I'm telling you, it's so much fun. A lot of fans just love that defensive work out there with their gloves and their arms, accuracy. It's really fun to watch. They spoiled them last year.
One and one. Adam Eaton, coming over from Arizona, bumped Alejandro De Aza from 2 spots. It moved him out of center field and bumped him out of the leadoff spot. Eaton is more of a prototypical leadoff hitter, and now the White Sox can perhaps make better use of De Aza's 17 home runs. That's what he hit last year in a 2nd consecutive career season where his overall numbers improved.
Robin had to do something. They're going to try to compete in this division here, which is a good, solid division. Gonna have to score some runs.
Still 1-2. Diaz, in talking about his career best season a year ago, had 50 walks. And for a leadoff hitter, you'd like a guy to do better than 50 walks for a career high. So another reason to move him down in the order. Alex comes up in left and brings it down for the second out. So Dunn back to first. And speaking of Alex, you can cheer on Alex in his special fan section. Gordo Nation is back this year for Thursday home games at Kauffman Stadium. And you will get this new limited edition Gordo Nation t-shirt and a seat near Alex in left field for just $35. So join your fellow Royals fans and support All-Star Alex Gordon. Get your tickets now at Royals.com/Gordo Nation. Alexei Ramirez after the first pitch, and that'll land in the crowd. 0-1. Ramirez also one of the highlights Hud was talking about at the beginning of this inning when he was thrown out at home plate trying to score from first on a double from Tyler Flowers. Alex Gordon connecting with Alcides Escobar to Salvador Perez for the out at the plate.
Guthrie moving in on 100 pitches. Still no action up in the bullpen. Ned Yost, to me, seems to be a different manager this year. I think along with the young players that he's managing, they changed a lot as far as their mentality goes. They're a more confident team, and so is Ned. Ned understands his team a lot more. He backs these guys. He's a little more cordial with the media. I think he's loosened up some. He's not quite as tight as he was the previous few years here. He understands that this is a team on the brink of success, and he says, man, you know what? I think it's time to share the love with the people. Would you agree a little bit?
Yeah, I agree with that. He's got a lot to be excited about as well. That helps. Aoki, foul ground sliding, coming up a little short.
He's got some help, some different help in that dugout. Don Wakamatsu, Dale Sweem, two former big league managers to help him with his duties. Wakamatsu, Sweem, Dave Island, who's one of the best pitching coaches in the league. There's no doubt about it. When your team has the best ERA in the American League, in a hitter's league, you're doing something right. Jersley, a well-deserved guy. I hate to circle him, but I'm going to. That guy there has paid his dues. How many years in AAA did they say he spent?
Well, 36 years total in the minor league. If you're talking about years as a player and a coach.
I'm going to give him a star then. Can you believe that? It's 36 years in the minors. Uncle! And never complained. Never did say uncle. He just hung right in there. That's impressive. And they finally gave him a reward of making him a coach here. That's a fantastic move. So Ned's got new help this year.
There's Herrera warming up as Guthrie is now over 100 pitches, 106. So Dunn takes off just outside, ball 4. So 2 walks in the inning. And now Guthrie at 107 pitches. And Dave Island will go out to the mound.
Wow, come on. Let's go. I mean, you know, that's a strike. Oh, well. Will Little has a little strike zone.
Remember, you can vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com/Royals, and you'll be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. There's a candidate right there. Omar Infante on base 3 times. Nori Aoki on base 3 times. Eric Hosmer double today. Runs scored. Royals 7 runs, 10 hits. So after scoring 4 runs in the 2 games in Detroit, had a big game on offense so far today with a 5-run lead. Guthrie trying to finish off the inning and get Flowers, and then hand it off to the bullpen in the 7th. 1 ball, 1 strike. Flowers has 2 hits. He doubled in the 2nd inning and then singled and scored in the 5th. So he's off to a very good start. He is 7 out of 12. Which would give him a .583 batting average. One and 2.
Nice. I'll tell you, not only is Guthrie appreciative of Ned sticking to his words by letting him toe the slab here opening day at the K, but leaving him in this situation here to take care of his own mess that he started here, that's good. 110 pitches. Let him try to finish him off here.
Line to right field, and the runners will move up 1 base. So 3rd hit for Flowers, and even with a runner at 2nd base and 2 outs, Adam Dunn does not run well, and Joe McEwing had a big stop sign up for him, and that will be Guthrie's last batter of the day.
Well, he gave him a chance. Now the bases are loaded up. He's hoping Herrera can come in and put out the fire here. But that was the first real base hit to right field throw home that we've seen from Aoki in the regular season. Now, you saw his arm in spring training, Ryan, but that's a pretty nice throw against the wind. A nice 1-hopper all the way into Salvi. And Guthrie's going to lead to a nice ovation here. Good outing.
Chevy call to the bullpen. Kelvin Herrera with the bases loaded, 2 down in the 6th.
Our Academy Sports Scoreboard, Detroit, Baltimore, Miguel Cabrera. There were some fans I heard while we were up there complaining about his first 2 games. You know, batting 167 to start the year. Yeah. That's Miguel Cabrera, a big 4-for-5 day for the MVP. That was his 2000th career hit, 366th career home run. Miggy doing just fine in the cold, guys.
All right, thank you, Joe. Here's Kelvin Herrera. Fastball a little bit high to Adam Eaton. So the Royals have a 5-run lead, but the White Sox have the bases loaded with 2 down. Eaton has been on twice. He has a single, and he's also been hit by a pitch. 1-1.
Okay, Herrera's got to be able to spot that fastball. Try to pick up Guthrie here. Spot the fastball in the corners, keep her down. Use the defense if you have to. Bring in the secondary pitches. They'd love to see him bring his curveball in more. He's got a great changeup, but he had some issues last year, and they sent him to the minors on 2 occasions to try to work on that breaking ball. There it was there. But Herrera, keep in mind, is just a young guy still. 24 years old. He's had a little bit of jitters. There was some. Looked like he wasn't real confident last year. Hopefully this year his body language improves along with his command. You can't let the White Sox back in this game.
Two and two.
This is where the Royals excelled last year, their bullpen. Whenever they had a lead like this, they usually could hold it with all the strong arms they have. Hard throwing guys. Collins is warming up. Oh, excuse me. That's Francisco Bueno.
And past Moustakas. 1-run home. They're going to test Alex again. And this throw is offline. Adam Eaton drives in 2. And it's a 3-run game. So both of the walks turn into runs.
Okay, you got to be careful. Like I said, Eaton, all he does is just put the bat on the ball. So it's not, you're not facing a home run hitter who's got a big swing. So you got to be careful with your location there. And Eaton did the job. Just put the bat on the ball, played pepper with it. Pepper's a game where you just kind of, when your friend throws you the ball, you kind of just pepper it right back to him with a short swing.
So those 2 runs are charged to Guthrie, and he's still responsible for Flowers at second base. Marcus Semien doubled in the 1st inning and walked in the 5th. One and one. One and two. Herrera's fastball in this inning has been anywhere from 92 to 94, which is down from his normal 95 to 100. Here's the breaking ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That could be the radar gun. It could also be the result of coming out of the bullpen on a cold day.
Could be. Normally he's up in the upper 90s.
And we'll do it again. That one up to 96. That's more usual for Kelvin Herrera.
He's got him all set up for a changeup right here. He's got an excellent one. It moves into the righty. Typically, that's a high 80s pitch.
Changeup. He went. He can't believe it. Semien strikes out. White Sox get 2 in the 6th inning, so they get back into the game. To the bottom of the 6th, the Royals lead 7-4.
The Yes, he did.
Royals coming up in the bottom of the 6th. Our Sonic Slam inning contestant is Carmela Dooley from Olathe. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Carmela wins $300. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Carmela wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. There you go. They're fired up. They're already celebrating the Sonic Slam inning.
They are. They're fired up about their first baseman who's stepping in right now. Getting a little toe hole in that batter's box. Hosmer's had a nice day, especially with his glove, but he's done it with both sides, on both sides of the ball. Got him a nice double. Got hit in the forearm, scored a run. He's made 2 nice defensive plays. And another knock.
Pass Ramirez. So a 2-hit game for Hosmer, and remember, he led the league last year at multi-hit games. He had 60. Only Matt Carpenter of the Cardinals had more in the big leagues.
Well, they're trying to load him up for a Sonic Slam inning here. We had a Sonic Slam winner last year, 25 grand.
Lorenzo Cain.
It could happen again. What a way to open up the opening day here at the K.
Outside from Billy, or to Billy, from Jake Petrichka, who came on and got the final out of the 5th inning in relief of Eric Johnson, who gave up all 7 runs. Petrichka last year got to the big leagues for the first time. Made his big league debut in the middle of August, and then in late August got his first major league win right here by getting the last 2 outs in an extra inning game. So 2/3 of an inning, and ends up with a win.
He's going with a lot of off-speed pitches. Typically, he's a guy who can rush it up there pretty good, but I'm only seeing some 92s, 93s on him, and he's throwing his slider and changeup a lot more. Maybe he witnessed what they did to his buddy Eric Johnson, who made his major league day or his opening day debut. And Billy will take another walk, second one.
Tyler Flowers was looking into the White Sox dugout as he was going out to the mound, as if he was going out to buy some time, but nobody's warming up in the bullpen. So 2 on, And nobody out to Alex Gordon, who got the big hit of the game way back in the first inning.
Yeah, he did. Oh, he had a nice uppercut. Couldn't quite find the barrel. I don't know if it got off the end or jammed him, but still enough to get the 3 runs home to turn this Royal Kingdom into a nice roar, an ovation. You know, they call the Chiefs the Kingdom, but this is really a Royal Kingdom with the name. It goes better with the Royal, I think, the Royals. Don't you think that's a fair term?
Yeah,
you
Royal
got the
Kingdom.
Yeah, you have the, you know, the Red Sox Nation and all those other things that go on, but this kingdom's about ready to erupt. Ooh, nice play.
White Sox turned it into a double play. That ball wanted to run up on Semien, but he stayed with it. Hosmer goes to third with 2 outs.
That was a nice hands there, right there.
There's your Royal Kingdom right there.
There it is.
There you go, a crown right on Salvador Perez.
Why not? Can't find a better guy to give the crown to.
Do you imagine him, Hud, wearing pinstripes and winning his MVP award?
Never.
In a Italian suit?
Never. I couldn't see it. Don't want to see it.
You could? No.
Matter of fact,
no, Italian. I said Italian suit with pinstripes.
You're kind of making me nauseated right now. Gonna get me in trouble again.
Wait a minute. I'm going to get you in trouble again? I don't think I had anything to do with the first time, did I?
No.
Tried to save you.
I'm gonna let the moment go.
Well, you just can't beat fun at the old ballpark, Hud. You know.
Can you help it that every other team in the world wants to have Salvador Perez on their team?
It's the first guy that everybody asks about.
Exactly.
When another team comes in to play the Royals, how good is this guy? Right. Governor Nixon wanted to talk about him.
He did.
When we were done visiting with him in the top of the 3rd inning, and the headsets came off, and we were just having a little conversation in here. Hey, how good is that catcher? He's really good. Really good.
And then I mentioned the other catcher across the state, and I said he has the chance to be that good. He looked at us and said, really?
Still 3-2. Sal 6 out of 10 to begin the season. Last year, only Miguel Cabrera, who won a 2nd straight MVP, had a better batting average with runners in scoring position. Sal hit .377 with runners in scoring position. He'll take a walk, and that's 2 walks in the inning, so that double play is big. And it puts runners at first and third with 2 down. And now Mike Moustakas, who is hitless today, but he's chipped in with a walk and a run scored. Let's bring in Joe Goldberg.
You know, Ryan, interesting. You guys were saying all the other teams that would line up for Salvador Perez. One of the first things that Hawk Harrelson and Steve Stone said to me is, Mike Moustakas, I'll tell you what, people don't like what he's doing so far. We know a lot of teams, including ours, that would love to get their hands on him.
There you go.
Well, it's only 10 at-bats. He was the best player in the Cactus League this year, and you can take that for what it's worth. But every hitter, whether they're seeing the best of a pitcher, whether he's just trying to get some work in, throw some strikes, or you're facing minor league pitching, whatever, all the hitters are facing the same guys. And Moustakas hit well over 400 with power, a lot of power.
This Petrichka guy, he's missing low. As a hitter, you want to see him up. Get him up. Anything out of that release point that's down there, just spit on it. Let him stay down there. He makes a mistake belt high, that's where you're looking. They can bring it up.
2-0. We discussed this in Detroit, and while Moustakas is still without a hit, I don't know if he's swung at a bad pitch yet. There's a good pitch, and the count is 2-1.
Changeup. Joe Mauer. How many batting titles has Mauer won? A couple? He's 1 for 9.
3, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 1 for 9. I mean,
3-1. Won 3 in 4 years at one point, Joe Mauer did. Out in front of the plate, and Petrichka will throw to first just in time to end the inning. So the double play was big. Royals get 3 base runners, but no runs in the 6th. They still have a 3-run lead.
Best selection of seats at Kauffman Stadium, including premium seats. Do you have a corporate outing coming up for clients coming to town? Ticketsforless.com can get your group within the first 10 rows behind the dugout or even all together in the front row of the crown seats. Check out Ticketsforless.com for all your Royals tickets. And guys, to further the discussion from before about just how tough those early season numbers can be, and of course you have 2 or 3 bad games in the middle of July, no one really notices it. At the same time, you get off to a start where you're hitting 750, and you know you're in line for an MVP. Andrew McCutchen, the defending National League MVP, who last season hit .317 with 21 homers, 84 RBIs, and 27 stolen bases. After 3 games, is batting 100 with a 500 OPS. So it's early, guys, and let's revisit it all after April.
It's early and it's cold. Advantage pitcher.
always.
Francisco Bueno comes on to pitch in the 7th inning. He'll get some left-hand batters, beginning with Connor Gillespie, and then after Jose Abreu, another left-hand batter, and Adam Dunn. And Gillespie stays back on a curveball and singles to center field. So leadoff man on against Bueno, who's making his season debut, facing fellow Cuban Jose Abreu. 0 for 2 today. He had a sac fly back in the first inning, driving in his 6th run of the year.
Might be some connection here between these two guys. Might have hooked up at some point in Cuba, playing against each other on their national team and their Cuban league there. But you better be careful. Keep that ball down. See if you can roll it up and play.
Two and 0. Bueno in 26 major league appearances has a 1.61 ERA. Kind of guy who maybe his velocity, his pitching arsenal isn't going to knock anybody's eyes out, but all he does is get outs.
It's because his command is really good. He keeps that ball down. He throws strikes. He's on the corners. He doesn't make too many mistakes. He's reliable. That's what managers want. Dave Island's happy with. Donnie Joseph, good looking left-hander, has a wicked slider. Couldn't throw his strikes as consistently as Bueno.
Slow roller to Moustakas. And get some help from Hosmer. No, he did not. Hosmer comes off the bag. So Hosmer tried to help him out. And the White Sox have some power at the plate representing the tying run. Oh, we might get a review here. Ned Yost did not pop out of the dugout right away. And now what he will do, he's buying time. Chance to talk to Ted Barrett. And now see how Ned has positioned himself looking at the Royals dugout. And he is going to use one of his challenges.
You know, so far it's worked pretty well, but let's take a look at it here. Let's see if Hosmer, who's excellent in keeping his foot on the base, actually did now. Okay, it looked like the ball wanted to come out of his glove. However, it's when it touches the leather. But it's not about a bang bang play. It's about, did he keep his foot on the base?
Now the fans, they're getting a look at it up on Crown Vision. I have not seen a definitive angle. Have you?
Not yet. They're all watching the board too, like the fans are. It's new now. Now right there, his foot's on the base and he's got the ball.
I think what Ted Barrett saw, what the fans just saw, and one of the angles we saw, is that Hosmer's foot slid down the bag as he was receiving the throw, but it appeared that his foot stayed on the bag. It just moved. Here's that angle we're talking about here. Let's see if we can get another look at it. But his foot was more toward the top of the bag, and then it slid down, but it appeared that his foot was still on it, just another part of the base when he received the throw. Now watch. See, the foot is on, and then it kind of slides down, but the question is, did it slide off?
I don't know. They're taking a little while. But the good thing is they're going to get the call right. You hope.
So in my estimation, the longer this is taking, the more the umpire in charge back in New York is trying to find some proof that he kept his foot on the bag. If they had found it already, or if they found an angle that clearly showed that his foot was off the bag, we're playing baseball right now. But because the runner Okay, so the call now from New York. And in our production truck, they are privy to the conversation from New York. Abreu is going to be safe, not because of Hosmer's foot, but because of the ball. Because he trapped the ball, not because his foot came off the bag. And now the question is, what is the ruling on the play? It's an error. So an error on Moustakas, and the call stands with Abreu safe at first. So there we go. I was focusing on the foot, and they were taking a look at the ball.
I saw the ball, and I thought that there was going to be an issue there, but it wasn't it was a bang play. I mean, they had him by 2 steps. That's one of the reasons why Moose got the error. He had plenty of time. If he made a decent throw, he would have got him. However, the replay call took 2 minutes and 49 seconds. Seemed longer than that.
Oh, and 2 on Dunn, who has faced Bueno once, and he's 0 for 1. So Ned Yost has used up his challenge. We are in the 7th inning, however, so the umpires on their own can have a video review. Robin Ventura still has his challenge.
One thing that I haven't seen all week in any highlights is arguments between managers and umpires. I don't believe there's been any ejections.
That was the great line from Torrey Hunter during the offseason when he was asked about replay. He says, I don't like it. I love a manager and an umpire getting into it and guys getting thrown out, and that's going to go away. Bueno gets to the bag in front of Dunn. So out number 1, and Gillespie moves up to 3rd, and Abreu up to 2nd. And Ned Yost is out of the Royals dugout.
"98 ejections last season, all total. None this year so far.
So right-hand hitting AVISAIL GARCIA coming up. Aaron Crow coming in. 7-4 Royals, 7th inning. And the White Sox have runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out in the 7th inning. And we welcome in Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery. A good time to bring him in, as Aaron Crow has been used by Ned Yost in situations like this, and he did it on opening day in Detroit, where He's not the so-called closer. We know Greg Holland is that, but he's kind of the fireman. He's the guy that he brings in when he's looking for a strikeout.
Well, he can get the strikeout. Plus, whenever he came in on the opening day situation, needed a ground ball. He's got a great sinker, great life to all of his pitches, and he was hopeful that was going to be the case. Unfortunately, that did not happen.
Going to face Garcia, who swung at that slider.
Monty, early in the season, you know, we've been talking a little bit about how tough it can be hitting in the cold, and some guys that have offers going, and some great hitters that are struggling a little bit early the first week. Relief pitching can be the same way, can it?
Well, in the first part of the season, all you really have to base things on essentially are what guys have done in their past, primarily what they did last year. What roles did they pitch well in? Where did they struggle? Then you try to set your bullpen up accordingly. And when you don't have that benefit of knowing what's going to happen when the bell rings, you have to kind of feel yourself through that. And I think that's what happens every year with most every bullpen in baseball.
That last pitch from Aaron Crow is a pitch, and have you explain it, which resulted in the wild pitch on opening day, a backup slider.
Well, backup sliders, when you're trying to get the pitch to finish down and away to a right-handed batter, and the ball just kind of spins and almost bottoms out, and like the bottom falls out of it, and it stays on the third base side of home plate. And when the catcher, Salvador Perez, is looking for that pitch away from a right-handed batter and it stays in, it makes it really difficult to block. And there's an example for right there.
So it almost has, sorry, Hud, it almost has like that 2 pitches ago, the one I was referring to, almost has more of like a screwball effect to it, right?
Exactly. The best one I've ever seen was Kevin Avier, and he could almost do it intentionally to where that ball would go back the other way, like you say, like a screwball. But a really good slider is going to go down and away very, very sharply from a right-handed batter.
That was my question. I was going to ask, can you do that on purpose?
Sometimes you can. You just really kind of spin the ball instead of really cut the ball.
Moustakas will play it to first. So 2 down, a run scores to make it 7-5 as Gillespie comes to the plate, and Abreu stays at second base. And now Crow will get Alejandro De Aza. There's Giordano Ventura, who had his season debut washed away in Detroit, and out in the bullpen, Ned Yost saying he will be available coming out of the pen until he makes his next start, which is on Tuesday.
It would be a perfect situation if the Royals are able to put some more runs on the board, get a cushion where he can work with and go out and just get some work in and sharpen himself up and be ready for that opening day, or I'm sorry, that first start of his season.
De Aza 0 for 3, grounded into a double play in the 4th inning. There's a pitch right there we were talking about. It Crow looked like he's going with a slider, and it kind of rode away from De Aza.
Sometimes your changeup will do that too. If you get that life down and away from that left-handed batter, you'll see it. It acts like the backup slider.
One and 2.
It's like De Aza, he knows that he's got that slider. He wants to lay off of it if he can, but he couldn't there. That was well placed.
It was.
It looked like a little backdoor slider.
De Aza has been on fire, and I think that down and in pitch is the one you want to stay away from him on.
No question. Him and Flowers. Flowers is unconscious right now.
Still 1 and 2.
Aaron Crow has a type slider that when it's on, he can really almost tell a hitter he's going to throw it. And a lot of times they know he's going to throw it, but it's such a quality pitch. When he has the finish at the end, it doesn't matter. They still can't hit it. And that's what I would like to see Aaron get to, is a point where he has a confidence in throwing his fastball more, and then that slider becomes even a better pitch.
Shallow left. Alex is there and brings it down. The White Sox, however, continue to chip away at the lead. They have scored in each of the last 3 innings. Stretch time at Kauffman Stadium. Royals lead 7-5.
Takes us around the league, and told you earlier about Detroit's big win against Baltimore. A little interleague play between Milwaukee and Boston. Carlos Gomez with a huge day for the Brewers. Atlanta one better than Washington. That game is a final. Minnesota playing in chilly Cleveland, and they are up 2-0 after playing in a slugfest in cold Chicago yesterday, and so having a hard time getting out of that cold weather. Here it's cold as well, but Royals fans are happy and trying to hang on to the 7-5 lead. Ryan?
All right, Joel, thank you. Jake Petrichka stays in for the White Sox. He continues to save the bullpen after starter Eric Johnson went just 4 2/3 innings. Oh, we talked about the Family Fun Day Sundays, and same days select Royals players will sign autographs. 2 players will be on the top of the Royals dugout from 11:45 to 12:15, weather permitting. So coming out to the ballpark early on Family Fun Day Sundays for Signature Sundays. Royals.com, 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Royals scored all 7 runs against starter Eric Johnson in 4 2/3 innings. Lorenzo Cain drove in 2 of the runs and scored another one. Strike with a slider. Royals have had 2 big innings. They got 3 in the bottom of the first and 3 in the 5th. White Sox were down 7-2, and they've just chipped away. They got 1 in the 5th inning, 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. One ball, 2 strikes.
Monty, this guy Petrichka, he's down in the zone with everything. I mean, like, I haven't seen him miss up one time.
Well, he's done a nice job getting called up for Nate Jones. Nate Jones, a guy has great upside, but hasn't been able to throw strikes. Here's a guy who comes in looking for the opportunity, taking advantage of it.
That's what you do in this game, isn't it? Isn't that right?
If you want to stick around, you better.
Like, yeah, you got to open some eyes and impress somebody. There's a big difference in paychecks between here and AAA.
You always hate to have the opportunity due to an injury, but when you have the opportunity, take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Ramirez at short, throws on the run and gets Cain 1 down in the 7th.
Can't imagine what a Cuban player is, how the anxiety works him when he's in Cuba wanting to come over to America. Already seeing that there's been some guys that have come over to America and had success in the big leagues, and they're probably thinking like a minor leaguer's thinking, man, how am I going to get my chance? When's my chance going to come? But you know, that's a hotbed for baseball talent over there.
Well, they have great players, and I can't remember any that have come across and not had a good time.
Yeah, or not had any success.
They enjoy it so much. You can tell by the way they play. They have great results. They go out, and I think they appreciate that new lease on life that they're given.
0-2 on Escobar, who is 0 for 3 today. Semien is out and makes a nice running play, and then splits between Eaton and Garcia to avoid a collision. 2 down. All of a sudden, some of the most dynamic players in the game are from Cuba. Jose Abreu. The White Sox are convinced he's going to be a star. Yasiel Puig, and what he did for the Dodgers last year, saved their season, or was as responsible as anybody is saving their season. Yoenis Cespedes playing for the A's. Fouled away by Aoki, who's been on base 3 times today.
Major League Baseball's doing all they can to try to make the game worldwide. You know, that's what they're doing by starting the season in Australia, Japan, Mexico City. You know, they're doing their part in trying to grow the game.
And I think everyone's all for tradition. They love the traditional home openers. They love the tradition. Joel and I were talking on the pregame about, we're changing the game. Things are changing. We now have replay in baseball, and you have to adapt to what's available to you. And I think the international aspect of the game is something that certainly is going to make it a worldwide game someday.
I was listening to you and Joel's great High V Royals Live pregame show, and Dayton was on with you, and he said that he was an old school guy. He didn't like the change.
Yeah, and that's really something, again, you have to be ready to adapt.
Well, Hud, you said that Aoki at times will have an Ichiro Suzuki-like approach, and that was very Ichiro-like. Aoki doki.
That is an Aoki doki. We call that a little chop knock. That's beautiful. Yeah, get used to it. He can manipulate that left side of the infield with the best of them.
Do you think he will change his approach when you have a guy that throws a good, lively fastball like Patricia on the mound? It's going to have that sinking action where he's going to just try to beat the ball on the ground? Is he going to go that way more often?
Absolutely, he will. Now, you know what though? They're going to try to pitch to him in different ways, like they did with Ichiro. The difference between Ichiro and Aoki is the speed of Ichiro. Ichiro, his first 5-6 years, you couldn't throw him out from that side. You're better off defending him with a shortstop up the middle and go ahead and let him have that hole, because you're not going to throw him out anyway if he hits anything. Aoki looks like he might be a step or two behind, but look at Rusty Kuntz talking with Katse, his interpreter. They're communicating. That's how you do it. In the same way Americans that play in Japan do it. You have an interpreter there that the coach talks to you with them. It can be interesting at times.
Let's go to Joel.
You know, it was interesting being in the dugout during that last spring training game we had when Nori was out in right field, and they wanted to make sure it was a ball that he caught and the runner might have been tagging, that he was aware of it and couldn't get his attention. And immediately Rusty brought Kosuke over and said, "What's the word in Japanese for tagged?" Now, maybe it'd be easier just to teach Nori what tagged is in English, but that's kind of what they're dealing with right now, all trying to get on the same page.
And Kosuke, he grew up in Southern California. So, you know, he was raised with Japanese parents in Southern Cal that spoke fluent Japanese the whole time. So he was able to, I mean, he's as good as you can be in the Japanese language and English. He was schooled in English schools.
And yet he's familiar with American culture. So you don't have two guys coming over here unfamiliar with the culture, and the translator grew up right here in the United States.
That's right. He's very interesting. Look forward to Joel breaking it down with him. Maybe you and Monty having him on the pregame show or something.
I'm sure at some point we'll have an opportunity to do that and learn more about him and what his opportunity is.
It's interesting. It's very interesting how that happens. And having played in Japan, I can tell you that when that interpreter came to the on-deck circle and told me the guy had a split finger, I wanted to choke him out.
Hit well to right field, and Garcia was playing in, but he got a good break and makes the play. So Infante, who already has 3 hits, hits it hard again. Royals are scoreless in the 7th. 7-5 KC to the 8th inning. caused a game break, and the Royals using their challenge in the 7th inning, feeling that Eric Hosmer kept his foot on the bag and hung onto the ball. Abreu ruled safe, and crew chief Ted Barrett getting on the headset. New York said he was safe. Ted Barrett made sure that the Royals dugout knew that. And the ruling was that Hosmer trapped the ball. We were focused on his foot, thinking that he had come off the bag, but that he trapped the ball between his glove and the dirt, and therefore not a catch. That looks like Joe West. There's the control center, the command center in New York, where it is umpires making the call and communicating with umpires on site. Wade Davis takes over in the 8th inning in his new role with the Royals, setting up for Greg Holland. And a game a few innings ago that looked like a runaway for the Royals when they led 7-2, but Chicago has scored 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th, so a 2-run game, and now Davis with a chance to get his first hold as a member of the Royals bullpen, at least this year. Aoki in right field makes the play and retires Alexei Ramirez, who is 1 for 3. And that gives us time to take a look at our Academy Sports game summary. If you weren't with us earlier, White Sox scored in the first. Royals got 3 in the first, 1 in the second. White Sox 1 in the 5th. Royals 3 to answer.
Love what the table setters are doing, though. That's exactly what Pedro Grifol was hoping, the hitting coach, is that we got to get those guys on base. The guys at the top, Aoki and Infante, nice job today.
And now Wade Davis will try and figure out how to retire Tyler Flowers. 3 for 3 today, 4 for 4 yesterday, so 7 for his last 7. And batting .615.
Boy, I tell you what, you can't wait to get in the batter's box when you got a roll like that. Teammates will say you're in a tree. He's in a tree right now.
Again, Aoki coming in from right. Dropped it. The wind was working against him the whole way. The wind blowing from left to right and blowing in from left center field. So I mean, it just continued to push the ball away from Aoki.
He had a long way to go. Look where he attempted to catch that ball. That wasn't too far off the cut of the infield. And typically the outfielder has a better angle. And it looked like his glove wasn't all the way open, and he can't believe he dropped it.
Royals did not commit an error in the 2 games in Detroit, and now they have committed 2 today. So the tying run back at the plate. And a fastball strike to Adam Eaton. He drove in 2 in the 6th inning against Kelvin Herrera. The runs were charged to Guthrie. And Adam Eaton, speaking of guys at the top of the order getting on base, he's been on base 3 times. What a save by Perez.
Well, he timed that bounce perfect, right in his glove. Kelvin Herrera possesses a good hard fastball. Let's watch this pick here. That's nice. He picked it cleanly, didn't just block it.
I mean, most catchers just happy, as you said, just to get their body and keep it off the screen, and he just picked it clean.
But you're better off being, throwing this guy breaking balls for strikes if you can, because he's looking just to slap that fastball, just like he did his last time up against Herrera.
2-1.
Not a lot of movement in his swing. This guy just gets up there, and I mentioned the word pepper. There might be some fans out there that don't know what pepper is, and players may not even know what it is. They don't play it anymore. It's, you get the guy, 3 or 4 guys, and they get 5 feet from you, and they throw it to you, and you just kind of show some back control and pepper it right back to them. It's a great game, really, and I'm surprised it's not utilized more in minor leagues anyway. Go to the outfield. It's good for fielders to work on their fielding game, and also the hitters working on bat control.
And then stadiums started putting signs on the padding behind home plate that said "No Pepper." Remember that?
And you can't even see a sign now that says "No Pepper" because there is none. They outlawed it.
Timeout had been called, and Davis wisely continues with the pitch.
Umpire does not have to grant timeout either. If the pitcher's in his windup, let him throw the pitch. You can hurt the pitcher. You just don't grant it. Tell the hitter, hey, look, you got to let me know sooner.
Ooh. Blew him away. 95 miles an hour. So this time they get the fastball by Eaton. And that's out number 2 in the 8th inning.
Pepper this. He humped up, got it elevated, a little bit out of the zone of Eaton. Ball was by you.
And now Marcus Semien with a runner at second, 2 down. Davis comes right after him, ball 1. Semien has reached twice with a first inning double and a 5th inning walk. One and one. Wade Davis went into spring training, one of 4 Royals competing for a spot in the rotation, but when Luke Hochevar went down, Royals filled his spot right away with Davis, taking him out of the competition for that spot in the rotation. Great pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And over the last 3 years of his career, the middle year was with Tampa Bay, his last year with the Rays. All of those appearances out of the bullpen. And you can see the amount of success he had, especially as far as ERA goes. And almost as many strikeouts as a reliever as he had as a starter the year before. Two and two.
Now he's more comfortable in this role. He's got high octane. He can come in and he can throw it in the mid to upper 90s when he wants to. Back off. I think it's definitely a role that Hochevar excelled in last year, but Davis understands he's got to pick up the slack. That's what happens when your guys go down.
Still 2 balls, 2 strikes on Semien. Strike 3 called. Perez was set up inside. Davis hit the outside part of the plate, and he strikes out 2 in a scoreless 8th inning.
You want to set up, man? You got it. Now you got to sit down. Beautiful pitch.
Royals baseball is brought to you by Steel. Find a helpful servicing Steel dealer near you. Visit steeldealers.com. And by Academy Sports. Right stuff, low price, every day. Wade Davis, the newly minted setup man for Greg Holland, gets his job done in the 8th inning. So Greg Holland will pitch with the lead when the White Sox come up in the 9th. The Royals would like to add on. They'll try and do so against Scott Downs in his first year with the White Sox. And he'll get Eric Hosmer, Billy Butler, and Alex Gordon.
Not overpowering, 87 to 90. He's got a big curveball, changeup. Been around a lot of teams.
He first got to the big leagues 14 years ago with the Chicago Cubs. He's been around long enough to have played for the Montreal Expos. He is from Kentucky, but spent a big chunk of his professional career in Canada. 2 years with the Expos, make that parts of 4 years with the Expos, and then parts of 5 years with the Blue Jays right after that. Then the Angels for 3, and the Braves.
Nope, you got a left arm, and you got some pretty good command. And one good pitch, usually it's a big breaking ball, and that's in his case. That's what it is, his big curve. You got a chance to stay around. And that's because there's not a lot of left-handed pitchers and not a lot of left-handed hitters either. So you come in, you're a specialty lefty. You come in for maybe 1 or 2 hitters. It's a pretty good gig. And not a gigabyte. It's a gig.
Diaz toward the corner and just inside the line for out number 1. Scott Downs, first drafted by the Chicago Cubs in 1997. So he's been a professional for a long time. 38 years old. Born in Louisville, now lives in Lexington, Kentucky. Outside to Billy, 0 for 2. He has walked twice and scored a run. Two and one. Well, we have a moment, and with the Royals DH at the plate, longtime Royal, popular Royal, Billy Butler. I want to send congratulations out to a gentleman with the same description, Mike Sweeney. Back with the Royals organization. He and his wife Shara had a little girl, Quinn Marie, born on the 28th of March. That is Mike and Shara's 5th. Their 3rd girl to go along with 2 boys.
Oh man, congratulations, Swing Dog. Had a baby.
They had decided that the baby was going to be named Quinn, boy or girl, because Quinn is another word for 5, and that was going to be baby number 5. 8 pounds, 8 ounces, 20.5 inches. Congratulations, Michael and Shara.
Wow. Way to go, Shara.
There's Billy's first base hit of the day. And base hit number 13 for the Royals. So they have more hits and more runs today than they did in the 2 games combined in Detroit. And now Billy will be replaced by Gerard Dyson.
Tell you, when you have that role like Dyson has, you know it's coming. Lots of times the manager will say, all right, hey Dyson, if Billy gets on, you're running. That's before Billy even gets to the plate, he tells him. So he gives the runner plenty of time to go downstairs, run around a little bit the batting cage, run up the stairs a few times, get yourself loose, get on a stationary bike, and be ready nice and hot when you get out there. Downs, being a lefty, has a good move to first. Most lefties do. So Dyson, he's ready. It's not like he came off cold off the bench. And he's in there for one reason, and that's to steal a bag. Nice step-off move there by Downs. Not all lefties have that move. That's a good one. And he went ahead and used it on Dyson early. So now Dyson knows he has it.
Ball 1 to Alex.
And lots of times that's going to give that hitter a fastball. When the pitcher knows the guy can steal a bag, he wants to get the ball home as quickly as possible. So he's going to give the hitter, Alex, hopefully something straight and firm that he can hit. So it's a bonus.
Dyson runs, and Flowers not even close. Royals have stolen 2 bases today.
Good takeaway. Alex knew what to do. Just take it. Let him get over there and score in position. 2-0 count. Favorable opportunity to hit here. Downs wants to come in. Although first base open, he's not going to mess around and put him on because Salvi waits. And there's not an arm loose out in Ventura's bullpen.
Just foul. When we were in Detroit, we reminded you that Alex hit his first major league grand slam against Darren Downs, a left-hand pitcher. He also has a home run in his career against Scott Downs. No relation, by the way, Scott Downs and Darren Downs. Almost hit him. 3-1. Well, if anything, Dyson has divided Downs' attention where he's not completely focused on Alex Gordon.
No, he's distracted, and that's okay. 3-1 here. Alex is sitting, wanting to hit something hard, back up through the middle. That's his approach mentally. If it's inside and he wants to turn on it, he will. Ooh, and he missed.
Cracked his bat. Dyson will go to third. And Alex head first is out. So 2 down and a runner at third for Salvador Perez. Alex gets a nice ovation from the fans near the first base dugout. They appreciate that with a cracked bat on a cold day, a long day in the 8th inning, he's still playing hard.
Yeah, he's digging for it. He's a leader. I'm sure Ned would rather he not did that, though. See what that does to the hand. You can jam a finger, bust a thumb. There's a lot of things that can happen and go wrong when you go head first like that. So I'm sure that, you know, the heart's there, but the manager's not happy about that. Fortunately, no one's hurt.
So they'll set up the lefty-lefty and put Salvador Perez on, and Downs will face Mike Moustakas. I remember in high school, a player on our baseball team dove in head first, and our high school baseball coach, Kelly Nicholson, said, in trying to get us to stop doing that, it was an Olympic year, and we were all watching the Olympics, and he said to us, don't you think a guy who's trained his whole life as a sprinter to win a gold medal in one race, if it was faster, that they would be diving across the finish line? I mean, what do the fastest guys in the world do to try to get from point A to point B? And point made. I've never seen Maurice Green or Carl Lewis or anybody dive head first across the finish line in the Olympics.
Oh, you're right. It's all heart. It's the determination of wanting to get there. Moose has a chance now. Maybe he gets his first hit off a lefty.
A little bit inside for ball 1. He has chipped in offensively in what is the most important inning right now for the Royals. A 3-run 5th. Moustakas walked and scored a run. Perez takes off, and Moustakas fouls it away.
Moose in a month's play in Venezuela hit 250 off lefties, so you know he got a lot of at bats down there, which is good. He's able to use that new stance there, and that helps swing his front side in and keep it closed so he doesn't fly open. That's the tendency a lefty has, and there's Pedro Gafal as winter ball coach.
Perez not running this time, and a slider is in for a strike to make it 1-2. Here's what he's done in his career. So he doesn't have a great average, a good average against lefties, but it is somewhat balanced by what he does against righties. There's a pitch in the dirt, and Dyson did not get a good break. It appeared he could have scored very easily on that, but didn't get the break he wanted. Perez does move up to second base on the wild pitch.
Dyson has the kind of speed that he could have made it home there had he, like you said, gotten a good break. That ball kicked a long ways away. Dyson looks like he doesn't have a walking lead. He was kind of stationary. Typically, you'd like to have a 1-2-3 landing on that front foot coming home. But, you know, with that kind of speed, he can go at any particular time, at any stance. I mean, he's very low to the ground and quick.
Salvador Perez was given a stolen base on that play.
How'd that go? That's a wild pitch.
Yeah. Right to Simeon at second base, and that is the inning. So the Royals strand a couple in scoring position. Ninth inning, Greg Holland on for his first save. Royals lead 7-5.
To close out a game, and that's where his specialty lies. He's fantastic. With Mariano Rivera retired now, I believe this guy is the best closer in the American League, and so do many people here in Kansas City. Wade Davis did a nice job tonight, or this afternoon, of setting him up, and now he tosses the ball to Greg Holland. Look at those save opportunities against the White Sox. He's done pretty well with that ERA. Nice and low. And for some more, Joe Goldberg.
All right, Hud, thank you very much. Coming up after this game, it'll be Boulevard Royals Live right out there in right field at Rivals. Should have a real nice crowd out there with 40,000 plus here on opening day. We will break down all the festivities. The offense finally opening up, and the pitching, while it wasn't great, had some incredible defense behind it. That Jeff Montgomery analysis and reaction coming up after the game.
All right, Joel. Greg Holland will get Connor Gillespie, Jose Abreu, and Adam Dunn. So 3, 4, 5 coming up. Showed you the numbers for Holland the last 2 years against the White Sox. One of his few blown saves last year was against Chicago here. But it was really a springboard for him because he went on to save 31 in a row after that. That's the second longest streak in Royals history. Joakim Soria had a 36 save streak back in 2010. He was 47 out of 50 in save opportunities. Royals pitcher of the year, second consecutive season, and a Royals record with those 47 saves. 2-1.
That pitch right there, Holland will tell you, is his best pitch. Strike one. Most veterans will tell you that. Some young guys will say, well, you know, I got a good slider. But really, when you're in a situation like this, strike one and getting ahead of hitters is premium.
Popped up. One down. So that means a powerful Abreu comes up with the tying run still on deck. Today's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals. They may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg, director Steve Kurtenbach, producer Joe Lavero, our associate producers Sam Abramson, Chad Wimberly, Dave Holtzman, And the producer of Royals Live is Brian Shapiro, and the rest of our great Fox Sports Kansas City crew. Great to see all of them. All the friendly faces that we spend half of our years with.
Believe it is. And a lot of familiar faces around the cage. It's the first time Abreu has seen.
That away, Mike Myers.
Holland, there you are. Look at that guy.
Big Donnie.
Wow.
Who's that masked man? Hi, John. 2-1.
Hey.
There he is, up here in the booth with us. Ron Swan with his Kansas City Monarchs hat on. There's Morgan, who for me will always belong up on the grass in left field, as where he was positioned many years ago before the renovations. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And when balls were hit onto the grass in left field, we'd always give Morgan the task of leaving his position and running down the grass and getting that home run ball.
Souvenir.
Yeah.
I don't know if Abreu's ever seen a slider like that before. And the way he swung at it, he might have earned another one.
Absolutely paralyzed him. And Abreu didn't wait around to hear what Will Little, the home plate umpire, had to say. He was his own umpire.
Woo, good to
said,
see.
Thank you very much.
That's right. Nice to see Greg Holland back in his role and familiar with. Look at that. Okay, that's the previous pitch. Okay, got him to swing out of the zone. Now here's the one. Salvi pounded his glove, thinking of getting an inside fastball. And Abreu, you got to go. That's a beauty.
So now Adam Dunn. Sellout crowd here today, but it has thinned out quite a bit. It's been a 3.5-hour game, and people trying to get home for dinner. That was a swing, 0-1. Adam Dunn, when he batted in the 6th inning, walked, which is nothing new for him, but it was a milestone walk of sorts. It was his 1,249th walk, and that ties him for 50th all time. But the impressive part of it is not where he stands. It tied him with Ty Cobb.
Ooh, it's the name.
How does that sound?
Wow.
Adam Dunn, you are tied in one category with Ty Cobb. 0-2. Greg Holland's having one of those unhittable appearances.
That's filthy right there. Oh.
One year ago today, the Royals were 0-2. Jeremy Guthrie started. Greg Holland finished, and they beat the White Sox for their first win of the year, and now trying to duplicate that again today. Guthrie went 5 2/3. He gave up 4 runs. Herrera, Bueno, Crow, Davis, and now Holland trying to close it out.
Oh, these Royal players want to see crowds like this all season long. And they might. They've got that kind of talent.
That's a swing. Adam Dunn argues with home plate umpire Will Little as Salvador Perez tags him out. And that's the game. The Royals have won their first of 2014. Big game on offense as they come up with 7 runs. Jeremy Guthrie beats the White Sox again. Wade Davis picks up his first hold. Omar Infante chipped in with 3 hits. And Greg Holland, who saved 47 for the Royals last year, has his first of 2014.
That's right. You know what? Glad to see the offense come out. Really good. Top of the order, Aoki, Infante, welcomed additions. They are going to really make the difference. Nice to see Alex Gordon come up with that first big hit. Bases loaded. Cleared the sacks, gave Jeremy Guthrie a little bit of breathing room. Nice to see him score some runs.
So again, the same script as a year ago. Royals get their first win in their third game against Chicago with Guthrie the winner and Greg Holland picking up the save. Let's go down to the field, and here's Joel.
Brian, thank you very much. We've got a pair of Royals All-Stars down here, Alex Gordon and Greg Holland. And Alex, let's start with you. First off, I know you're confident in the offense that you have. Faced a couple of really tough pitchers in Detroit, but how important from a momentum standpoint was it to be able to get that big hit and clear the bases in the first?
Yeah, we were okay in Detroit. We just, didn't come up with a big hit, and luckily in the first inning we were able to get to the starter, and guys got on base, and that's what we're supposed to do in the middle lineup, is drive guys in, and it was good to see in the first.
You've been through a lot of these opening days at Kauffman Stadium, some cold, some warm. It's always a packed house, but there are a lot of expectations this year. What was today like for you?
Expectations are expectations. We're going out there, same team, having fun, trying to win every day, and we're glad there's expectations there. That means we're playing well, so we're just going to keep being ourselves and not try to do too much and be who we are.
And to be able to see multiple guys contribute, and especially those two at the top of the lineup too, your new guys, Aoki and Infante, what does that mean?
Oh, it's huge when you get on base like they do, and we have confidence that they're going to do that all year long. Good contact hitters, line drive hitters, and hopefully they can do that all year long for Haas, Billy, me, Salvi, and Moose, and all the other guys. So it's good to see.
All right, we'll get you out of here. Nice job, Alex Gordon, and we'll bring in the Royals All-Star closer, Greg Holland. Nice and cold out here for you to come in the ninth, and it looked like most of your games last year making it look easy, but what was it like getting out there in front of the home crowd for the first time?
It's exciting, it always is. Opening day at home, there's nothing better than potentially a World Series, I guess. But, we just enjoy each other's company, enjoy the crowd, enjoy the atmosphere, and really thrive on it.
It's a tough time of year just to kind of get everybody going in the right direction. Jeff Montgomery's talked about it as far as the bullpen goes. You're going to be out there in the ninth. But how about the importance today of guys being in key situations and being able to navigate that?
Well, those guys have been there, done that. All of us have. And that's a credit to Ned over the last 3-4 years as basically a core group, getting us in there in different situations so that we're comfortable with guys on in, late innings.
Last thing for you, to be out there, opening day, you've been through a few of them now, the ceremonies beforehand, the fans. Just describe the emotions of what that is like.
I try to spend the whole day controlling my emotions because it's such an exciting time, and you don't want to be too excited out there on the mound. But we really use this energy at this park to our advantage, and hopefully keep coming out and supporting us, and we'll keep playing good baseball.
Go warm up. Great job on the save.
All right, thanks a lot.
Greg Holland with his first save of the year, and it did indeed, Ryan, look like vintage Greg Holland.
Well, you're right, Joel. It sure did. It's his first save of the year. He faces 3, retires 3, and ends the game with strikeouts against the powerful Jose Abreu and Adam Dunn. Royals win it 7-5.